Would that be fake? Quickly go. Although you've grasped the basics of the spirit formation, the White Cloak exam for world spiritists is not that simple. It will be totally different from the past exams that you've experienced. You better be prepared in your heart so you won't fail it and be set back. Zhuge Lian struck some blows and said, He, don't worry, master. I won't disappoint you and I won't lose any of your face. Chu Feng happily left. After knowing how Eggy could be saved, his tense heart relaxed. To avoid any suspicions from Zhuge Lian, Chu Feng did not refine the 100 origin beads. He only slept early, and on that night he slept very peacefully. In the morning of the following day, the sky was only slightly lit up. As arranged, Chu Feng went to Zhuge Lian's residence. However, in the plaza that was in front of the palace, people formed mountains and oceans. There were many disciples and elders gathered there. After passing through the crowd, Chu Feng discovered with astonishment that in the center of the plaza, Zhuge Lian was standing there, and behind him were two huge white-headed eagles. Those eagles were extreme big. As they stood there, they were 3 meters tall. Their large claws were like sharp blades, and as they looked at the crowd with their sharp eagle eyes, there was not a single trace of fear within them. Rather, there was pride. Wah, it's a real white-headed eagle. It's so beautiful. As they looked at the two eagles, many females revealed joy, and they were so happy that their hands and feet danced. I hear that this thing is the best means for transportation. Its price is extremely high, and our Azure Dragon School only has 2, which both belong to Zhuge Lian. Someone stated the origin of the white-headed eagle. Yeah, this thing seems quite strong. It is enjoyable just by looking at it. I wonder how nice it would feel if I rode it and flew around for a while. Elder Zhuge very rarely uses the white-headed eagle, and he looked at them as though they were treasure. I hear that Elder Wang from the 6 protectors had to journey far one day, and he wanted to borrow the white-headed eagle to use it. However, he was heartlessly refused by Elder Zhuge. Not only refused, I hear that Elder Zhuge even lashed out at Elder Wang. He said, Even I am not willing to use it, but you want to. Go dream. Yeah. But today, he is going to use both white-headed eagles. I wonder what important matter he has, where he is going, and who is he going with. Everyone was pointing as they had discussions about the white-headed eagle. They admired Zhuge Lian quite a bit, and they admired the person who would ride on the white-headed eagle along with Elder Zhuge even more. Everyone wanted to have a taste of the intense feeling of soaring towards the horizon and looking down from the sky. Fenger, it's time to go. Just at that time, Zhuge Lian waved at Chu Feng, who was within the crowd. Master. Under the gazes of the crowd, Chu Feng went next to Zhuge Lian, and he involuntarily extended his palm to rub the white-headed eagle. He was also endlessly excited in his heart. So it's Chu Feng. Heavens, is he going to go out with Elder Zhuge? He can actually enjoy such treatments. It seems that Elder Zhuge really likes this Chu Feng. After seeing Chu Feng, admiration was filled on the crowd's face. They admired Chu Feng, as he was able to be liked by Zhuge Lian. However, compared to the pure admiration from the males, many females displayed their adoration. Chu Feng's talent was already shown, and now he became Zhuge Lian's disciple. It could be said that his status within the Azure Dragon School was not inferior to Gong Lion. In addition, there were rumors that stated Chu Feng was a genius who had spirit power, and because Zhuge Lian saw his huge talent in spirit power, he accepted him as his disciple. From that, people had even higher opinions on Chu Feng. So naturally, Chu Feng currently became the husband of choice in the hearts of countless female disciples. Although Chu Feng was still a young man, that could not stop the rippling hearts of love from the female disciples. Chu Feng. A familiar sound rang out and Su Mei walked out from the crowd. She arrived in front of Chu Feng and cutely said, Are you leaving? I'm following my master to go to the Spirit Province to participate in the White Cloak exam for world spiritists. Chu Feng did not hide Anything from Su Mei. Since you're participating in the World Spiritist exam, congratulations on becoming a World Spiritist. Su Mei beautifully smiled and said, "Ha, that's still unknown." Chu Feng modestly shook his head, but a confident and determined smile was hung on his face. "How long are you leaving for?" Su Mei asked again. "Probably a month." Chu Feng replied. "That long?" There was some change on Su Mei's face. "What's wrong?" Chu Feng saw the inklings. "Nothing, I'm just happy for you." Su Mei sweetly smiled, but she could not hide the worry in her heart. However, she did not speak anymore, and she squeezed herself into the crowd. "Little Mei." As Chu Feng hesitated, Su Mei disappeared. Chu Feng rushed out of the crowd and looked around, but he could not see Su Mei's figure. However, another body appeared within Chu Feng's line of sight. It was Su Mei's sister, Su Rou. The most beautiful female in the Azure Dragon School was currently looking at Chu Feng from not too far. Su Rou was an inner court elder, so unless there were any special matters, she would very rarely come to the core zone. In addition to Su Mei's strange emotions earlier, Chu Feng subconsciously knew that something happened. "Su Rou, what happened?" Chu Feng brought Su Rou to a more quiet place before asking, "You know that little Mei has a fiancé, right?" Su Rou did not answer, but responded with a question. "Xianxia from the Xianxia family, right? What about him?" Chu Feng asked. "It seems that you know at least something." Su Rou smiled, but her smile was very strange. After that, she spoke again. "Xianxia and little Mei's marriage has been advanced. It will happen in 1 month. 1 month later, it's your father's idea." Chu Feng's face was a bit ugly. "No, it wasn't my father's idea, however. He is quite powerless in his issue. This is quite a long matter, but it could be said to be a forced marriage." Su Rou said, "Forced marriage? Funny joke. The distinguished master of the Vermilion Bird City is being forced by a family within his city." Obviously, Chu Feng did not believe it. Do not underestimate the Xianxia family. They already have the qualifications to fight over the right of control over the Vermilion Bird City, and besides, he found a supporter for his own family. "The current situation isn't too good for my Su family." Su Rou said. "Supporter? What supporter?" Chu Feng asked. "Don't ask about that. All in all, it isn't something that you can handle. I only ask you one question. Can you bring little Mei and leave?" Su Rou's beautiful eyes tightly stared at Chu Feng. "I cannot." Chu Feng firmly replied without any hesitation. "You?" After hearing Chu Feng's words, Su Rou's face of absolute beauty paled a bit from anger. Chu Feng did not explain anything. He just turned around and walked towards the plaza. "Chu Feng, I was mistaken about you. Little Mei was even more mistaken." The cursing voice of Su Rou came from behind. Chu Feng stopped his steps, turned his head around and said, "Why do I need to bring little Mei away? To elope, to escape? Why do we need to run away? What did we do wrong? Or what are we afraid of?" Su Rou did not know how to reply, as she didn't really understand what Chu Feng meant. "I, Chu Feng, will not run away from his matter. 1 month later in the Vermilion Bird Mountain Range. I will see you there." Chu Feng left those words behind and walked away. He only let Su Rou contemplate over those words. However, she could not understand them. That Su Mei is quite a nice girl. Her family situation isn't bad and her talent isn't weak as well. No need to say anything about her appearance. "So, do you want me to help you propose a marriage?" After returning to the plaza, Zhuge Lian smiled and said, "Master, thank you for your good intentions, but I don't want to marry too early." Chu Feng smiled and replied, "Let's go." Zhuge Lian leaped up and landed onto the white-headed eagle. Chu Feng also rode on the other white-headed eagle. Both of the eagles opened their wings at the same time, and the huge wings were several meters long. Both of their wings flapped and wind rose. The fierce wind roared, and they were like sharp blades. Even the core disciples and core elders on the plaza found it hard to bear it as they got blown back. Within the wild wind, 2 white-headed eagles rose into the air and went straight up into the sky. They first circled the plaza 2 times before shooting towards the spirit province like arrows. Everyone paid attention to that grand scene, and most of their faces were filled with admiration and yearning. However, in a desolate corner in the core zone, there was also a small face that was raised. Su Mei, who stared at the white-headed eagle, had worry within her eyes. The white-headed eagle's speed was extremely quick, and it only took a few days to go over the Azure province as they arrived within the boundaries of the Spirit province. The white-headed eagle could be counted as a rarity in the Azure province. Every time it flew past in the air, the people underneath would raise their heads to look and sigh in admiration. However, after arriving at the Spirit province, Chu Feng discovered that the white-headed eagle wasn't all that rare. As they flew in the air, they even saw a few white-headed eagles sweep past them. Their speed was even quicker than the ones that they were riding on, and clearly they were of better quality. That made Chu Feng think that the Azure province that he lived in perhaps really was declining when compared to the Spirit province. No wonder his master, Zhuge Liang, would say that the so-called geniuses in the Azure province were only mediocre people, and there were no more than 10 people who could truly be called as geniuses. The so-called geniuses in the Azure province really wasn't much in the eyes of the other provinces. In reality, the Azure province wasn't really all that strong. Within the 9 provinces, it was deteriorating, and it could not really be compared to the other bigger provinces. After flying for 2 more days in the Spirit province, Chu Feng finally arrived at the so-called. As he looked down from above, he could see that it was located within the plains. It was a huge city, and the city was so big that it covered entire mountains, rivers, and even forests. It was simply just like a kingdom, and it was so big that it surpassed Chu Feng's imagination. From that, he could tell how strong the was. No wonder it could become the overlord of the Spirit province. The most important thing was that the world spiritists who were seen so preciously within the Azure province were everywhere. White cloak world spiritists like Zhuge Liang were certainly not anyone important. In that area, only gray cloak world spiritists could be seen highly by others, because there were as many white-cloaked world spiritists as there were white vegetables, since they could be seen anywhere. Is this the so-called "there's a sky beyond this sky and there's a person beyond this person"? Chu Feng and Zhuge Liang did not directly enter the because people could not enter the as they wished. Even if they were world spiritists, they could not. So they arrived in a city outside of the, and it was specialized for receiving world spiritists like them. At that place, people like Zhuge Liang who were white cloak world spiritists were everywhere. However, most of them had their hoods taken off and revealed their faces. No need to be shocked. The finest world spiritists in the 9 provinces are gathered here, so naturally, there would be quite a few world spiritists. Besides, the Spirit province is titled as the richest province with the 9 provinces. When compared to his place, the Azure province does seem a bit poor and desolate. Zhuge Liang's voice rang out, and Chu Feng, who turned his head to look, couldn't help but be greatly shocked, because Zhuge Liang took off the hood that he covered his face with. For the first time, Chu Feng saw the face of the old man. He looked quite different from Chu Feng's imagination. Not only was he not scary, he seemed rather kind. With a glance, people would feel that the old man was quite amiable. However, probably exactly because of that reason, Zhuge Liang did not let anyone see his appearance because he wanted to leave a dangerous impression on others. Only then could he protect himself better. Perhaps that was truly the best way for him to protect himself. Heh! No one is allowed to hide their face here, and everyone must abide with that rule, or else they'll be seen as challenging the might of. Zhuge Liang explained and said, "I like your current appearance better." Chu Feng smiled and said the words from his heart. "Boy, is my appearance so amusing to be made fun of." Zhuge Liang shot Chu Feng a glance, then brought him to the registration place for the white cloak exam. As they went there, Chu Feng saw many young people who were similar in age as him. Every single one of them had spirit power, so it could be seen that they were there for the White Cloak exam. The World Spiritist exam isn't too strict. As long as you can pass the first stage, you can get the World Spirit White Cloak. The World Spirit White Cloak is made out of special materials. When you wear it, as long as you don't emanate any aura, no one can detect your cultivation. The most important thing is that the World Spirit White Cloak is a symbol of status. In the future, if you wear this white cloak back to the Azure province, I think that no one will look down on you again. Many powers would even want to befriend you and rope you in to be a guest. But, of course, laying a spirit formation is physical work, and laying formations of spirit formations would be even more physical work. Laying a spirit formation that envelops an entire power is a huge project. The outsiders only see the glory of us world spiritists, but they don't even know the hard work we need to do. Zhuge Liang reminded Chu Feng after helping Chu Feng get the qualification badge for participating in the exam. Master, other than the first stage, is there a second stage? Chu Feng asked curiously. Of course, after passing the first stage you can get the World Spirit White Cloak. However, even though you can get the World Spirit White Cloak like that, you need to pay the appropriate price to buy it. Zhuge Liang replied. You need to buy it. How much does it cost? Chu Feng closely asked. A single World Spirit White Cloak costs 1,000 origin beads, and that's given if you pass the first stage, or else, even if you want to buy one you couldn't. Zhuge Liang said. That expensive? Chu Feng was endlessly shocked. To him, 1,000 origin beads was certainly a huge number to him. Don't worry, I have already prepared them for you. As long as you can pass the first stage, the World Spirit White Cloak is yours. Zhuge Liang dotingly looked at Chu Feng. At that instant, if Chu Feng said he wasn't touched, those would be lies. However, he still curiously asked, Master, do you know how much a World Spirit Grey Cloak costs? World Spirit Grey Cloak. I haven't been in the Grey Cloak exam before, since it is not something that ordinary world spiritists can participate in. Besides, having the World Spirit Grey Cloak is an extreme high honor for world spiritists, so why would it be sold? Zhuge Liang shook his head. But what if someone wanted to sell it? For example, if someone had an extra World Spirit Grey Cloak that they wanted to sell, how much would it cost? Chu Feng was extremely curious because he did have a grey cloak in his hands. That's quite hard to say. After all, normal people don't have much use for World Spirit Grey Cloaks, and even if someone wanted to buy it, it would need to be a world spiritist. However, according to the difficulty of the Grey Cloak exam, the price for the World Spirit Grey Cloak would be reasonable even if it was counted with profound beads as the unit, roughly 1,000 profound beads. Zhuge Liang said, 1,000 profound beads. Chu Feng was incomparably happy. That was certainly a huge number. If a single profound bead was equivalent to 1,000 origin beads, 1,000 profound beads was equivalent to 1,000,000 origin beads. 1,000,000 origin beads. Even if Chu Feng's godly lightning got any more greedy, that amount would definitely be enough for it to eat for a while. Who knew what Chu Feng's cultivation would reach after consuming the 1,000,000 origin beads? 1,000 profound beads isn't a small number. Even to me, the 1,000 origin beads that I prepared for you today is everything I have. 1,000 profound beads. World spiritists that can pay that amount would not spend it to buy the World Spirit Grey Cloak, and they would just rely on their own strength to get it because they should be able to. As Chu Feng's imagination went wild as he planned how he would sell that World Spirit Grey Cloak, Zhuge Liang splashed a bucket of cold water onto Chu Feng. However, after thinking in more detail, 1,000 profound beads was truly a huge number, no matter who it was. If their background wasn't impressive, then they must have outstanding strength in order to be so wealthy. The more he knew about the price of the World Spirit Grey Cloak, The more Chu Feng felt that the purple-clothed girl was extraordinary. It could be seen how impressive she was in order to be a gray cloak world spiritist at that age. If she did not appear that day, and if Chu Feng only used his tiny bit of spirit formation power, he would most likely be unable to release the peerless secret skill, the white tiger slaughtering technique. So, Master, does that mean after passing the first stage there's a second stage? Chu Feng asked again. That's right, there is a second stage. After passing the second stage, not only will the world spirit white cloak be free, there will even be a reward. However, that stage cannot be passed by normal people. Back in my days, I was unable to pass that stage. Zhuge Lian shook his head and said, "Oh, I'm not mistaken, am I? It's Zhuge Lian." Just at that time, a strange voice suddenly rang out. Looking over, a short old man who wore a white cloak was walking towards Chu Feng and Zhuge Lian. As he walked, he was limping. He seemed to be a slightly disabled person. There was even a young man behind the limping old man. He was older than Chu Feng, being around 17 years old, and arrogance was all over his face. The gaze that he looked at Chu Feng with was full of contempt, as if he himself had a few extra legs than others. "So it's Kixing. I haven't seen you in a good while." After seeing the limping old man, Zhuge Lian's expression was quite ugly. "Ha ha, it really is you. Old guy Zhuge, I heard that you became a guest elder at the Azure Dragon School." Kixin smiled and said with mock. Zhuge Lian smiled, as he silently admitted to it. However, he did not expect that Kixing would be even more undue as he loudly said, "Tusk, tusk, tusk. No matter how you say it, you are still a world spiritist. How can you be so low as to be a guest elder at a tiny little second-rate school? Perhaps his ability is insufficient and first-rate schools don't accept him." Just at that time, the young man behind Kixing spoke. "If you dare speak a single extra word, do you believe that I will cripple you?" After hearing that, Chu Feng could not remain silent as he pointed at the young man and coldly yelled, "Oh, where did this little brat come from? So disrespectful. Old guy Zhuge, he isn't your disciple, is he?" Kixing looked at Chu Feng and all sorts of disdain emerged into his eyes. "Kixing, mind how you speak. Although I was defeated by you in that year, that does not mean that I am afraid of you now." Zhuge Lian's face finally sank as well. "Old guy Zhuge, what attitude is this? Do you want to lose to me once again?" Kixing sneered and said, "Why not give it a try?" Zhuge Lian's aura revolved and the air around him shifted. "Ah, but what is there to try between the two of us? Let's make it more interesting and let our disciples give it a go." However, Kixing's gaze locked onto Chu Feng, and a despicable smile that did not match his age hung on the corner of his mouth. He could already tell that Chu Feng was a cultivator at the first level of the origin realm. With that cultivation, his disciple could completely suppress Chu Feng without any pressure at all. Zhuge Lian did not reply, and he only looked at Chu Feng because Kixing's disciple had the cultivation of the 5th level of the origin realm. Although he had the same cultivation as Wu Jiu, after all, he was a world spiritist and a core disciple in a first-rate school. Naturally, he could not be compared to Wu Jiu, so Zhuge Lian let Chu Feng decide. "Master, I beg you, let me teach this ignorant thing a lesson." Chu Feng said, "That's fine. Fenger, go exchange some blows with him." Zhuge Lian nodded in satisfaction. He liked Chu Feng, who was not afraid of the heavens nor the earth. Exchange blows, fists and feet do not have eyes, so torn tendons or broken bones cannot be blamed on anyone. Kixing was very confident in his disciple. "I can already see your disciple being injured severely." Zhuge Lian also had plenty of confidence in Chu Feng. "HMPH, let's see if your disciple has that ability. Xianxia, go give him a taste of pain." Kixing coldly snorted. "Yes, sir." The young man called Xianxia first walked over to a wide area. He arrogantly formed his hand into a hook, indicating Chu Feng to go over. Asterisk him asterisk. Just as Chu Feng went over, with a thought from Kixing. He put out a layer of strong spirit formation and surrounded Chu Feng and Yangzi within it. Kixing, what are you doing? Seeing that, Zhuge Lian angrily bellowed. Old guy Zhuge, what are you worried about? This is the property of the World Spirit Guild. I put down the spirit formation because I don't want the two children breaking anything here. Kixing cunningly said that, however. He was clearly shooting an eye expression at Yangzi. Yangzi understood it as he smiled, and the gaze towards Chu Feng became more dark and fierce. Master, that cripple is correct. It is better if the World Spirit Guild's property is not damaged. So, just in case, Master, you should also put a layer of spirit formation down. I'm worried that the cripple laid an incomplete spirit formation that would be broken by me. Chu Feng loudly said that, and Kixing's eyebrows slanted inwards as he heard cripple here and there, and he scowled from anger. However, as he thought about his disciple beating Chu Feng up for him, he suppressed his flames of fury. I'll listen to you. Zhuge Lian, who understood Chu Feng a bit, naturally knew what Chu Feng wanted to copy. Without delay, he continuously laid 3 more layers of spirit formation and tightly locked Chu Feng and Yangzi in from under their feet to above their heads. Although it would be hard for them to get themselves out, it was also hard for others to get themselves in. Come, doggy, let me see your flowery fists and fancy kicking. Chu Feng did a hand gesture towards Yangzi. Damn your doggy. After being called like that by Chu Feng, Yangzi was enraged. He threw out a fist and origin power condensed as the fist flew in the air towards Chu Feng. However, Chu Feng did not even move an inch when facing his attack. He did not even blink as he used the power of spirit formation with a thought. A spirit formation wall formed a meter in front of him. Asterisk bang, asterisk, a boom resonated and ripples exploded, but Chu Feng was not affected in the slightest. The spirit formation he laid easily blocked Yangzi's attack. Quite a fine method. This boy has a good future. That area was originally a city, so there were a lot of passers-by. When they saw that 2 young people were having a fight, naturally, many people stopped their steps to watch. After seeing Chu Feng so naturally use the spirit formation at his age, many sighs of admiration sounded out. Yangzi, do not show mercy and fiercely attack. As he saw the observers praising Chu Feng, Kixing could not remain silent and he yelled out as he ignored his own situation. Damn brat, let's see how you're going to block this. Yangzi spread his legs apart and went into a horse stance. As he tightly clenched both of his fists, strong origin power surged around him, and it had quite a powerful force. If the spirit formation wasn't there to hold it down, it would certainly have raised quite a bit of sand and stones. Power storage. That power storage was not simple, and he was preparing for a strong martial skill. As for how strong it would undoubtedly not be lower than a rank 5 martial skill. Suddenly, Yangzi explosively yelled and he attacked. At the same time that he attacked, he even yelled, Heaven Dog's Meteor Fist. Asterisk asterisk, when that fist came out, it shook the world, and the howling that was like a group of dogs yelling endlessly shocked everyone. So the mysteriousness of the Heaven Dog's Meteor Fist attacked you with noise pollution that was like the howling of wild dogs. Although the dog howling sounds that the fist made could already be said to contain extremely strong power of harming, and people could not hold that back, the strongest power of harming was still within the essence of the fist. The meteor-like fists flew towards Chu Feng, and the might and power were not to be underestimated. Even a small mountain or a palace would be demolished by the meteor fists. However, his opponent was Chu Feng. He did not dodge or avoid it. He only relied on the spirit formation in front of him to block Yangzi's strong attacks. Asterisk boom 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 asterisk, when every fist touched the spirit formation. They were like fireworks as they exploded beautifully on the spirit formation. However, the endless ripples and the endless fists had no way of even moving that spirit formation, not to mention breaking it. there weren't even any small cracks. That isn't simple. The martial skill that the boy is using is at least a rank 5-1, and he used a minimum of 90% of its power. However, that martial skill has no way of even moving that young man's spirit formation. It can be seen how high quality that spirit formation is. The observing crowd sighed in admiration once again because Chu Feng's performance was truly eye-grabbing. That isn't even anything. The quality of my disciples' spirit formation certainly surpasses his. It cannot be said that the boy is strong. It can only be said that his opponent is too weak. However, some people who were not considerative spoke the truth. As he listened to the surrounding discussions that were completely leaning towards Chu Feng, and when some voices even belittled his own disciple, Kixing circled back and forth in anger. However, he did not lash out because that place wasn't the Azure province. It was the World Spirit Guild, and there were countless experts there. He did not dare to easily offend anyone. As he could do nothing about him, Kixing could only direct his rage at his own disciple as he roared, "Xianxia, you garbage! What are you thinking? Someone at the 5th level of the Origin Realm can't beat a person who is at the 1st level of the Origin Realm. Did you take the things that I taught you as fart? Doggy, your master is raging, so isn't it time to use your specialty?" Chu Feng was quite relaxed as he stood behind the spirit formation. "Damn you, I'll rip your mouth off." Xianxia was completely enraged. He simply stopped attacking and didn't use any martial skills anymore. He stepped forward and he wanted to have a close physical battle. Go! Swoosh *. However, just at that time, Chu Feng clenched his left hand, and a golden-colored spear appeared in his hand. He threw it towards Xianxia. The golden-colored spear contained extremely strong origin power. As it howled past, even the air exploded, and it was as though the spear could pierce anything. HMPH, don't even think of injuring me with a mere rank 5 martial skill. Seeing that Chu Feng started to attack, Xianxia was not afraid as well, and he stood where he was. His arms waved as he set up a spirit formation wall and put it in front of himself. Bang! The golden spear was thrown and ripples went in all directions as it was stopped by the spirit formation. However, looking back at the spirit formation, it was heavily damaged with cracks everywhere. It looked like a mirror that was smashed by a big rock. The difference is too big. The quality of that boy's spirit formation is too far off from that young man's. Seeing that, the observing people all sighed and shook their heads, hittingly indicating that Yangzi's spirit formation did not pass. Take another spear. Chu Feng was quite proud of himself as he raised his hand to throw another. Bang! Another golden spear exploded as it forcefully shattered the spirit formation, and it continued towards Yangzi's. Yangzi was greatly shocked, and as he backed away in alarm, he laid another spirit formation again, and he was able to block Chu Feng's attack. However, cracks also appeared on that spirit formation. Slightly interesting, but can you still block the following? Chu Feng held a bow in his left hand, and his right hand pulled the string. The sound of the bowstring rang out, and noise of the arrows were like rain. With whooshes that tore through the air, the densely packed golden-colored arrows pressed their way towards Yangzi. How is this possible? He is clearly only at the 1st level of the Origin Realm. How can he use such a powerful martial skill? Yangzi panicked. It wasn't that he didn't want a counterattack. He had no methods to do that. Under that situation, the only thing he could do was to keep on laying spirit formations to block Chu Feng's attacks. However, even if spirit formations was infinite, spirit power wasn't. Under Chu Feng's storm-like attacks, Yangzi was quickly exhausted and he could only barely brace it. Although he was forcibly holding it back, Chu Feng's attacks got stronger and stronger. As he felt that he was unable to block the strike soon, Yangzi loudly yelled, "Master, save me! This trash!" Kixing was furious as he saw his disciple, who was at the 5th level of the Origin Realm, being beaten by Chu Feng, who was at the first level of the origin realm. However, even if he cursed like that on the surface, he had no hesitation. As his master, he would not just stare as his disciple died. "Hey, Kixing, this is the fight between the disciples. What are you doing?" However, just as Kixing raised his hand, Zhuge Lian's palm grasped his wrist and stopped his attack. "Old guy Zhuge, get out of my way." Kixing waved his arm and wanted to fling Zhuge Lian away. However, he could not do anything about Zhuge Lian's hand. It was as firm as a boulder, and it was just like a pair of iron pliers as it solidly locked his wrist. Kixing had no way of moving it. "You shameless thing, move to the side and quietly watch." Zhuge Lian coldly snorted and suddenly flung. Kixing landed face first and he fiercely laid on the ground. You entered the 6th level of the profound realm." Kixing was endlessly shocked because he never would have thought that the defeated general that year surpassed him today and became an expert of the 6th level of the profound realm. It was hard for Kixing to accept that. As a guest elder in a first-rate school, he got extremely generous offerings. With those offerings, his cultivation also increased rapidly and he was an expert of the 5th level of the profound realm. However, he did not expect that Zhuge Lian, who was a guest elder in a second-rate school, would be at the 6th level of the profound realm. That defied common sense. "Fenger, you can stop after a bit more, leave his dog life for him." Zhuge Lian did not pay any attention to Kixing as he yelled at Chu Feng, who was within the spirit formation. "Yes, sir." Chu Feng already disintegrated Yangzi's spirit formation. Originally, he wanted to kill him, but after hearing Zhuge Lian's words, he dissolved the golden-colored arrows that would have killed Yangzi. "Get up." Although he spared Yangzi's life, Chu Feng did not plan to let him go just like that. He walked in front of Yangzi and pulled him up as he was completely exhausted with a pale face. What are you planning to do?" "I am a core disciple of the first-rate school, the Huayang School. If you dare to kill me, my school will not forgive you." Yangzi already lost all the arrogance he had earlier, and his eyes were filled with fear. "Damn you!" Chu Feng didn't even bother to listen to his meaningless words and punched Yangzi's mouth. After the punch landed on his face, the ground was covered with teeth. A mouthful of Yangzi's teeth were broken by Chu Feng. Yangzi covered the mouth that had blood flowing out of it as he looked at the shattered teeth on the ground. He wished to cry, yet there were no tears. Without even teeth, how could he face anyone after he returned to the Huayang School? "Go over to the side to cry." As he looked at Yangzi, who almost seemed to cry, Chu Feng raised his leg and kicked Yangzi into a corner. Then he pointed at him and said, "Pay attention to how you speak in the future. You cannot speak like that to just anyone." "Ha, whatever, Fenger. It's normal for wild dogs to bite people and it's fine after a beating. No need to lower yourself to his level." Zhuge Lian's mood was great as he saw his own disciple win so quickly. He felt quite comfortable, and after releasing the spirit formation, he brought Chu Feng to the examination location. "Fenger, that was beautifully done. The face that I lost that year has been retrieved by you." They arrived at the examination location, but Zhuge Lian did not forget to praise Chu Feng. He was really quite happy. "Master, your strength far exceeds him. I know that you didn't lower yourself to him because you didn't want to bully a crippled person." Chu Feng chuckled and said, "You really know how to speak, but on that year I really did lose. I lost, so I lost. In the white cloak exam. On that year, if he did not obstruct me, perhaps I could see what the second stage was like." Zhuge Lian felt a bit of regret as he mentioned the matter of that year. "Master, don't worry. I will help you finish your unfinished dream. I will pass the second stage and get the world spirit white cloak with my own abilities. I won't let you spend a single penny on me." Chu Feng was full of confidence. "Good, you have ambition. If you can pass that exam, I'll give the 1,000 origin beads for you. Use it when you get a wife in the future." Zhuge Lian patted Chu Feng's shoulders. He liked his disciple more and more. Heh, thank you, master. Chu Feng's smile was very dazzling. He felt quite close to Zhuge Liang as he looked at his kind appearance and at the attitude he treated himself. Since the World Spirit Guild did not allow the entrance of random people, Chu Feng could only enter by himself in order to participate in the White Cloak exam. As he held the qualification badge, Chu Feng entered the World Spirit Guild, and he stepped into the huge city that was as vast as a kingdom. After layers of inspection, Chu Feng arrived within a grand palace. It was truly an incomparably grand palace. The pillars in the main hall were so thick that even if 10 people formed a circle around it, they could not surround it. They were several hundred meters high, and they were almost going to link to the heavens. That did not even seem like a palace. It was more like a castle. It was too huge. People from the World Spirit Guild stood everywhere in the palace. Every single one of them were White Cloak World Spiritists, and their auras could not be detected. However, they were certainly experts, and the World Spirit Guild symbol on their arms seized people's attention. People formed mountains and oceans. In the center of the main hall, there were at least 1,000 or so people there, and they were all young. The oldest was not over 20 years old. There were geniuses everywhere, and their cultivation were not weak either. To know that the reason why Leng Wuzui was called a genius in the Azure Dragon School was because he had spirit power, which not one within 10,000 people had. However, at that instant and at that place within the main hall, there were over 1,000 people who were similar in terms of age with Chu Feng, yet also had spirit power. That scene would really make one sigh in admiration, but thinking about it in more detail, it could be understood. After all, geniuses from all the provinces in the 9 provinces were gathered there. Because the Azure province lacked people with spirit power did not mean that the other provinces were like that as well. Look, it's the geniuses of the World Spirit Guild. Suddenly, someone yelled out, and following that, everyone's gazes were cast over. Dozens of young males and females were slowly walking over. Every single one of them wore a golden-colored robe, and it was quite dazzling. Also, the World Spirit Guild symbol was on their left arms. The males were quite pretty and handsome, while the females were sweet and gorgeous. Every single person had a grand atmosphere. The weakest cultivation was only the 5th level of the Origin Realm, whereas the strongest was the 7th level of the Origin Realm. From the people's discussions, Chu Feng also learnt where the group of people came from. They were the geniuses of the World Spirit Guild. However, their talent wasn't shown by their cultivation but by their comprehension in the power of spirit formation. Accordingly, some people even made a contract with a world spirit, and they were truly worthy of being a world spiritist genius. These geniuses have not been seen in the past few exams, but I never would have thought that they all appeared in this one. Is today some sort of special day? As someone yelled out, they did not forget to add, in their speculation, yeah, even Gu Bo appeared. He is the #1 person in the young generation within the World Spirit Guild. He is only 16 years old, and he is already at the 7th level of the Origin Realm. According to rumors, his attainment in the spirit formation technique cannot be compared by anyone. Even more people's gazes were gathered on the young man who led the group of geniuses. That young man was as pretty as a female, and there was an amiable smile on his face which was not forced at all. Gu Bo, you finally decided to participate in the White Cloak exam. Just at that time, another clear voice suddenly rang out. Looking over, a group of young males and females who wore black clothes also walked into the hall. The group of young males and females had around 100 people. They were also the dragons and phoenixes within men and women. Not only was the number of people no less than the geniuses in the World Spirit Guild, their cultivation was not inferior as well. The young man who led was exactly the same as Gu Bo, being also at the 7th level of the Origin Realm. Their ages were also extremely similar, seeming that he was also 16 years old. However, when the group of young males and females were compared to the geniuses from the World Spirit Guild, There was a sharp contrast. They did not have a single trace of smile on their faces, and they only had faces of proudness. It's the geniuses of the Jai clan. They are also joining the White Cloak exam. What day is today? Is that person the #1 person in the young generation of the Jai clan, Jai Bufin? The appearance of the young males and females raised another huge reaction from the crowd. They were the people from the ancient genius clan, the Jai clan, Jai Bufin. 100 years ago, the seniors of my World Spirit Guild had a spirit formation contest in the Twisted Forest with your Jai clan, but ended up with a tie. Today, the young generation from both your side and mine are gathering here again. This is truly fate. Gu Bo smiled and said, "Less of this. On that year, if that mysterious person did not come into metal, my Jai clan would have beaten your World Spirit Guild. It is not fate that we meet here today. It is the contest between the two young generations. You and I both know that in our hearts, so there is no need to act." Jai Bufin coldly snorted and said, "You Jai guy, what are you being crazy for? Today, they will press you down and none of you will even be able to go onto the 4th floor." A young man in the World Spirit Guild yelled displeasedly, "The 4th floor, are you going there?" Jai Bufin sneered and said, "I." That young man's expression changed and he was slightly speechless. "The trash should shut up. Mentioning the 4th floor with me. It would be luck if you could even go onto the 3rd floor." Jai Bufin had disdain all over his face. "True, I can't go onto the 4th floor, but Gu Bo certainly can. He will press you to death on the 4th floor." The young man rebuked, "Gu Bo, I do believe that Gu Bo can, but regrettably my target is the 5th floor. Gu Bo, do you dare to come?" Jai Bufin asked. "I'll see you on the 5th floor." Gu Bo lightly smiled and spoke no more. He led the geniuses from the World Spirit Guild into a luxurious room. It was a resting place, however. Not just anyone could enter that area. As they saw the geniuses walking over, the people from the World Spirit Guild nodded and bent over towards Gu Bo and the others. It could be seen that not only were their talent not bad, their statuses were quite something as well, or else how would the experts be so polite to them? "Let's go." Jai Bufin also took out a special badge and walked towards another luxurious resting room in the hall. As they faced that group, the people from the World Spirit Guild did not dare to be disrespectful as well. So today is the great battle that happened between the World Spirit Guild and the Jai clan 100 years ago. No wonder so many geniuses have gathered here today. It seems that there will be good things to see today, but sadly, it would be very hard for us to arrive to that. After the group of geniuses walked away, the crowd started their discussions once again. "Big bro, what is the Twisted Forest? And how about the several floors that they talked about?" Chu Feng curiously asked. "You don't even know this. This is the first time that you've been in the Spirit Province, right?" That young man looked at Chu Feng strangely. "Yeah, I came from the Azure Province." Chu Feng smiled at the harmless person. "Azure Province? That's still quite close, but after all, those who aren't from the Spirit Province cannot be blamed for not knowing this. I'll tell you about it. There are 3 stages to this White Cloak exam. The first is the Spirit Formation Control, and the examination is about the controlling ability over one's spirit formation. To pass the first stage, you only need to be able to use the spirit formation technique, and it isn't hard to pass that. The harder one is the second stage, the Twisted Forest. The Twisted Forest is a huge formation by itself. There aren't any mechanisms within it, however. The fog is extremely dense there, and the examination is about the world spiritist's observation power. As long as you can pass the Twisted Forest, the World Spirit White Cloak will be free, and there will even be a reward. Everyone who passed that stage can get a single spirit fruit seed. Spirit fruit seed. That's right, it is the seed of a spirit fruit. This spirit fruit seed is quite a good thing. It can make one's spirit formation power even purer and their spirit power even stronger. However, after all, it is only a seed and the power it contains is limited. So, if they are willing to, they can enter the third stage, and that's the contained spirit pressure. The spirit pressure can quickly speed up the growth of the spirit fruit seed. From what I've heard, the second floor will make the spirit fruit seed sprout, the third floor will make it grow branches and leaves, the fourth floor will make it blossom, the fifth floor will make it bear fruit, and the sixth floor will ripen the spirit fruit. However, the spirit pressure is detrimental to the human body, so it has to be held off with spirit power. There are extremely high spirit power requirements, not how much they have but their quality, one's willpower. The spirit pressure can be said to be a test about a world spiritist's talent. Up until now, there hasn't been anyone who could reach the sixth floor, and those who stepped onto the fifth floor are already true geniuses. That person explained to Chu Feng, "This is really great." Chu Feng rejoiced in his heart. He never would have thought that the reward for the second stage in the exam was the spirit fruit seed he wanted. As long as he went onto he could let the seed grow. He only needed to step onto the sixth floor in order for the seed to grow and bear ripe fruit, which also meant that Chu Feng could save Eggy. How could he not be happy? However, the name caused Chu Feng to raise a thought. He clearly remembered when Eggy displayed her special power, she mentioned the word Asura, the Asura Ghost Tower. What a strange name. Chu Feng acted as if he didn't understand as he talked to himself. This Asura Ghost Tower is not a simple thing. According to rumors, it has over 10,000 years of history. It has treasures contained within it, and the reason why the World Spirit Guild was built here was because they wanted to monopolize the Asura Ghost Tower. For this Asura Ghost Tower, there were plenty of conflicts between the World Spirit Guild and the Jai clan. The most recent one was 100 years ago when geniuses that were unseen for 1,000 years appeared in both the World Spirit Guild and the Jai clan. Under the guidance of the two geniuses, the people from the World Spirit Guild and the Jai clan had an unprecedented flourishing time period. The Spirit Province at that time was named as the strongest within the 9 provinces. One day, the genius from the Jai clan led everyone from the Jai clan to the World Spirit Guild, and they swore to retake the Asura Ghost Tower. Neither side backed down, and a great battle was going to happen. At that time, if a battle happened, it would undoubtedly cause the entire Spirit Province to collapse because the World Spirit Guild and the Jai clan were too strong. However, to avoid unnecessary deaths and injuries, the genius from the World Spirit Guild suggested to have a duel in spirit formation techniques against the Jai clan's genius. The victor could take over the Asura Ghost Tower. The location of the duel was the Twisted Forest. From what I've heard, the spirit formation technique that the two people used that day were used to the extreme. Their battle truly caused the sky to dusk, and the ground to darken, and the sun nor moon shone. As he mentioned the past events that happened that year, his hand danced, as he gestured all over the place as if he personally saw everything that happened. At the end, who won? Chu Feng was intrigued on which genius won and which genius lost. Sigh, both of them lost. That person shook his head as he sighed while his face had nothing but pity. Both of them lost. Both were injured and lost, or was it a tie? Chu Feng closely asked. They were defeated by someone. That person said, defeated by someone? Weren't the two people the strongest geniuses at that time? How could they be defeated by someone? Chu Feng also felt quite shocked. From what the young man said, the two geniuses were very impressive existences. How could they have been defeated? How strong would the person who defeated them be? They were indeed defeated, but they were defeated by a world spiritist that did not belong to the Spirit Province. The age of that world spiritist was even younger than the geniuses from the World Spirit Guild and the Jai clan, a genius amongst geniuses. The young man narrated. That strong, who was that person called? Did anyone know where that person came from? Chu Feng was instantly curious as to who that person was. That person was truly strong if he was able to defeat two pinnacle geniuses by himself. No one knew what he was called, nor did anyone know where he came from. They only knew that his cultivation was impressive, and his spirit formation technique could be said to be perfect. However, he had a special characteristic, and it was that he had a pair of sharp ears. His pupils were red, and he had a mouthful of sharp teeth. Because his appearance was special, some people even suspected that he was a monstrous beast. However, it is a taboo for monstrous beasts to cultivate in spirit formation techniques, so even more people felt that his appearance was just a bit strange. It is impossible for such a strong person to be so nameless. If he was still alive, his name should have shaken the world. How is it possible that no one knows what he is called? Chu Feng was very confused. You are correct. In that year when he defeated both the peak geniuses of the World Spirit Guild and the Jai clan, he got the rights over the Asura Ghost Tower. He already shook the 9 provinces, and even the Jiang dynasty wanted to rope him in with them and start friendly relationships. But sadly, soon after he defeated the 2 geniuses, he completely disappeared and he never appeared again. So naturally, no one would know his name and he was extremely mysterious. As for the 2 geniuses, since they were defeated, they were dispirited and they both secluded themselves. They still haven't come out today, but with the talent that the 2 of them had that year, I'm sure that they must be even more impressive today. Exactly because of the existences of those 2 people. Very few people dare to invade the spirit province, because they felt that if the 2 people came out within the 9 provinces, the spirit province could certainly still be ranked as first. What are those 2 geniuses called? The one from the Jai clan is called Jaishi. The one from the World Spirit Guild is called Gu Tian Chen. However, even if the 2 people are still alive right now, they would be old men who were at the end of their life. I wonder if the glory of the 2 people could still be seen. Ah, what a shame. The 2 geniuses that couldn't be met in 1,000 years were dispirited, just like that. As a person from the spirit province, that young man clearly felt that the 2 geniuses being disheartened was quite a pity. It is indeed a shame, but I feel more pity towards the mysterious person who defeated the 2 people. After all, with his strength, he should not be unknown. Chu Feng said. After waiting a good 4 hours, the so-called World Spiritist White Cloak exam finally started. There were innumerable doors in the vast palace. Under the arrangement of the World Spirit Guild, Chu Feng and 2 others formed a group and entered a room. After entering the room, a square palace appeared. There was another door on the other side of the palace. In front of the door was a person, and it was a middle-aged man with a gray-colored cloak. Obviously, he was a gray cloak world spiritist. There were 3 human-shaped statues in the middle of the palace. They were made with black iron, and there was a simple spirit formation laid on it. They were a lot more hard than normal black iron. Shatter a statue. The amount of strikes will be in the single digits. The faster it is shattered, the higher the points. The middle-aged man flatly said, "I'll go first. I only need 10 strikes to take care of this thing." The young man to Chu Feng's left walked over. That person was quite healthy and he was 2 meters tall. His arm muscles were even thicker than Chu Feng's thigh, and from his appearance he looked like a big adult man. He arrived in front of the statue. First, he warmed his body up a bit and clear sounds of knuckles cracking were emitted. After that, he fiercely used strength and emanated his aura, which was at the 3rd level of the origin realm. Then, he continuously threw the fists out that were as big as sandbags. Asterisk clang 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 asterisk. The fists landed on the statue and they made noises of steel colliding with one another. There were even sparks. After the 10th fist landed, a crack really did appear on the statue and the crack quickly spread. At the end, the statue split into 2 and it landed on the floor. At that instant, the well-built young man spun around and smiled proudly at Chu Feng and the young female, who was to Chu Feng's right. Actually, he was mainly smiling to that young female. Although she wasn't any great beauty, she was still quite pretty. The two round things that were worthy of being proud of in front of her chest clearly suited the well-built young man's taste. The well-built young man showed 2 rows of bright white teeth towards the young female. He even did some impressive actions with his strong muscles, but they did not do anything as the young female did not even look at him. However, he was not disappointed and he continued to do those attracting actions. A bare pass. However, when such an evaluation came from behind, the face of the well-built young man instantly went stiff and the corner of his mouth twitched. HMPH, trash. The young female, who did not speak for a long time, shot a glance at the well-built young man as she passed him. She arrived in front of the black iron statue, then suddenly raised her leg and started to attack. The cultivation of the 4th level of the origin realm was displayed without restraint. Asterisk swoosh swoosh asterisk. The young female's kicking techniques were quite impressive. They were quick, afterimages were created, and they had strong power. Wind was lifted up, and it was not a simple kicking technique. It was a martial skill. A very strong kicking technique, martial skill that would not be weaker than rank 4. Asterisk boom asterisk. After the 5th kick, a boom rang out and the black iron statue broke into pieces from the young female and the chunks fell to the floor. Did you see that? I only need 5 strikes myself. The young female smugly shot a glance at the well-built young man. The face of the young man was currently very ugly. No matter if it was cultivation or methods, she was indeed stronger than him. He could not say anything back, even after he was mocked. Who told him to mess around in front of her before? Right. Not bad, pass. The World Spirit Guild member nodded his head in satisfaction. At that instant, of the 4 people at scene, 3 of them subconsciously cast their gaze towards Chu Feng. Expectation was filled in the gaze of the well-built young man. After the young female finished, he felt that he had no more face. However, he knew that he could get back some face from Chu Feng, because he could feel that Chu Feng's cultivation was a mere 1st level of the origin realm. The test in front of them had no relation to spirit formation techniques, and it was only a simple cultivation test. So the well-built young man felt that with Chu Feng there, he would not lose the most face, and he would not be at the bottom. Under the gazes of the 3 people, Chu Feng stuck his chest out and raised his head. Without hurrying, he walked in front of the black iron statue. He first opened his 5 fingers, then tightly closed them, and after raising his hand, he punched the black iron statue. Chu Feng's punch was exceptionally quick. It was truly just like lightning. With a boom, the incomparably hard black iron statue was completely shattered by Chu Feng's punch. It did not break into pieces, it truly shattered. 1 strike. He only used 1 strike. As they looked at the shattered statue, fragments on the floor, all 3 people who were there were greatly astounded. The young female slightly opened her little mouth in astonishment, and her eyes tightly stared at Chu Feng with indescribable shock. As for the World Spirit Guild elder, his gaze glittered as well, and only after a good while did he calm down and slightly nodded. He smiled and said with satisfaction, "Not bad, a hard-to-find good seedling." How is this possible? This guy is clearly only at the 1st level of the origin realm. He did not use any martial skill yet. He so easily shattered the black iron statue into pieces as if it was nothing. However, the one with the most wonderful expression was the well-built young man. No matter what, he would not have thought that Chu Feng, who seemed as weak as dregs, was strong to that degree. Even a person at the 5th level of the origin realm could not necessarily do that. However, Chu Feng, who was only at the 1st level of the origin realm, could. What did that mean? Those who had a bit of intelligence could think of the impressiveness within. After the martial power test, the spirit formation technique test followed. The most important parts were the control over the spirit formation, the hardness of the spirit formation, and the sensitivity of the spirit power. At first, What the well-built young man's attitude towards Chu Feng was that he felt that Chu Feng had strong martial power to the point of abnormality was because he suspected Chu Feng spent most of his time on cultivation. It was possible that he was weaker in terms of spirit formation technique when compared to him and the young female. However, when Chu Feng displayed his methods with the spirit formation techniques, no matter if it was the young man or the young female, or even the world spiritist from the World Spirit Guild, all of them were dumbstruck and they were completely overwhelmed by Chu Feng's strength. At the end, the three of them successfully passed the tests, and they passed the first stage of the White Cloak exam. They could take a new badge to leave that place to buy, a World Spirit White Cloak. However, after the exam finished, the World Spiritist from the World Spirit Guild left Chu Feng's name behind. He also gave Chu Feng an evaluation of a hard-to-see genius. Chu Feng, bro, your strength truly isn't fake, and I would really kowtow in admiration. Brother Chu Feng, with your strength, you are going to challenge the second stage, right? How about we go together? After passing the first stage, the three people walked out the palace. No matter if it was the well-built young man or the alluring young female, both of them started to set up a relationship between them and Chu Feng. The alluring young female even wanted to go together with Chu Feng. After all, the second stage was the not only did it have high requirements for world spiritists in all sorts of areas, there was also a certain requirement in terms of martial power, because inside the most dangerous things were not mechanisms nor formations. It was people. So, no matter how you saw it, it would be easier for them to pass the stage if they went with Chu Feng. Let's go together then. Chu Feng lightly smiled and nodded his head. That's great. This second stage is not enough to scare us if we go along with you. The well-built young man happily laughed. Who said that you're coming? However, the young female fiercely glared at the young man. In tests like those, every single person would care about themselves more, and they would not carry burdens without reason. Within the eyes of the young female, the well-built young man was a burden. The well-built young man wanted to say something, but he stuffed it back down, and disappointment emerged onto his face. Meeting is fate, so the three of us can go together. But just at that time, Chu Feng indifferently spoke. Chu Feng, bro, you are truly a good person. Don't worry, I will certainly not drag you two behind. After hearing Chu Feng's words, the well-built young man rejoiced, and gratitude was all over his face. As he felt gratitude, he did not forget to pat his chest to guarantee. After Chu Feng spoke, even though the young female was not too willing to, she did not say anything more. After all, even she wanted to rely on Chu Feng's strength to pass since the person who she was relying on spoke, what right did she have to refuse? Just like that, after the three of them walked out of the palace, none of them got the badge that represented the passing of the first stage and went go to purchase a World Spirit White Cloak. They only continued deeper in and entered the Twisted Forest. Was a huge formation, and it was laid by the World Spirit Guild when the guild was created. After endless improvements by World Spirit Guild's experts, the Twisted Forest's formation could not be deciphered by normal cultivators. Even world spiritists could get lost after entering it. If no one led the way, they would have no way of leaving that place, and they would starve to death. Although the Twisted Forest had forest in its name, in reality, there were not only trees within it. There were also stone sculptures and iron pillars, but no matter what they were, they had a spirit formation laid on it. Without the cultivation of the profound realm, one should not even think of destroying any grass or wood there. Even experts of the profound realm had to have a certain level of cultivation and ability. Chu Feng and the two others walked within the forest. With Chu Feng's spirit power and the observation power of the World Spirit Compass, the formation could not obstruct the steps of Chu Feng and the others. However, before long after they entered, Chu Feng saw a familiar face. It was the Kixing's disciple, who also came from the Azure province and had his teeth shattered by Chu Feng. xianxia. Also, there were 4 extra people next to xianxia. The 4 of them wore the clothing of a first-rate school, and their cultivation was not weak either. 3 of them were at the 4th level of the origin realm, and another person was the same as xianxia, also being at the 5th level of the origin realm. From their clothing, Chu Feng could tell that they were core disciples of the Lingyun school. Chu Feng. After seeing Chu Feng, xianxia was incomparably stunned. He who did not have teeth first strangely yelled, then fear filled his face. It could be seen that Chu Feng left quite a huge shadow on him. Chu Feng, xianxia, this is the brat who had horrible behavior and beat you up like this. After hearing xianxia's words, the 4 others cast their gaze towards Chu Feng and disdainfully looked at him. It was clear that they had heard of the matter between Chu Feng and xianxia. However, they showed doubt towards Chu Feng's cultivation. After all, xianxia was a person at the 5th level of the origin realm, and Chu Feng was only at the 1st level of the origin realm. Liu Bio, let's quickly go. Xianxia turned around and wanted to leave. He even went and pulled the disciple from the Lingyun school. Sigh. Xianxia, what are you doing? Are you really afraid of his brat? However, Liu Bio flung Xianxia's hand away and interestingly looked at Chu Feng. Xianxia, no need to be afraid. We will take revenge for you. The other 3 people already spread apart and laid a strong spirit formation to block Chu Feng and the others' escape. Chu Feng, this isn't good. They are extremely powerful. While facing that situation, the alluring young female's face tensed up. The opponents did not conceal their auras, and they had quite impressive control over the spirit formation, so she lost all confidence. As for the well-built young man, he had fear and regret all over his face. Naturally, fear because he was scared by Liu Bio, xianxia, and the others might. Regret because he regretted being greedy for conveniences. He wanted to rely on Chu Feng's methods to pass the twisted forest, but he never would have thought that Chu Feng had such huge enemies. They even coincidentally passed that place and dragged him into the mess. The twisted forest was sealed, and things like enemies meeting as they killed each other were not rare. Pretty much no one would investigate that, and it was also the most dangerous part of the twisted forest. Chu Feng, seeing that you are also from the Azure province, I'll give you a chance. Beg for forgiveness and shatter your own front teeth, then I'll spare your life. Liu Bio stood from nearby, and he was like a king looking down on the petty commoners. Although he said that he would give Chu Feng a chance on the surface, icy cold, killing intent was revealed within his gaze. That's fine. Today, we will work together and finish off this brat. Seeing that Liu Bio and the others were so determined, xianxia did not escape anymore, and he also revealed dense killing intent. Doggy, you are quite popular and you actually have a few bad friends. However, from what I see, they won't be able to help you. Instead, they have harmed you. Chu Feng lightly smiled, then suddenly waved his big sleeve. And formless hurricane with him as the center spread out, and it instantly shattered the spirit formation that the 3 people laid. At that instant, everyone on scene was stunned. However, they were even more stunned as after the spirit formation was shattered, another strong spirit formation was formed, and xianxia and the others were all sealed within. The strength of that spirit formation was clearly multiple times stronger than the one before, and the reason why they were so shocked was because the spirit formation was laid by Chu Feng. He did not even move his hand, and he controlled the spirit formation purely with his spirit power. You want me to shatter my own front teeth? Do you even have the ability to do so? With a thought, Chu Feng spread his cultivation of the 1st level of the origin realm out without restraint. However, that strong pressure caused every single person in the spirit formation to tremble. Even Liu Bio, who had a threatening aura before, could not remain calm anymore. Illusions. Do you really think I would be tricked by your illusions? Liu Bio did not believe that Chu Feng was truly that strong. He raised his palm and his origin power surged. The well-built young man and the alluring female tightly frowned when facing that might, and they quickly hid behind Chu Feng because that attack was not something that they could hold back. However, the strong attack that was seen by the young man and the young female's eyes was not even worth mentioning in front of Chu Feng. Without even moving, Chu Feng used the pressure of his first level of the origin realm to dissolve Liu Bai's attack. A bunch of garbage. You want to help others with only this kind of strength. Kneel. Chu Feng coldly snorted and strengthened the pressure. The formless aura surged within the spirit formation, and the air even howled strangely from the mad and violent power. Chu Feng finally displayed his true strength. Under such strong pressure, Liu Bio and the others did not have the atmosphere that they had earlier. With a poof, they knelt on the ground and they could not defend against the pressure. On the other hand, Yangzi was still standing, and from that, it meant that Liu Bio and the others' cultivation was far from Yangzi's. Chu Feng, you. While facing that scene, the well-built young man and the alluring young female had wonder all over their faces. Although they did not feel Chu Feng's pressure from his aura, they could still tell that Chu Feng relied on his personal pressure to forcefully cause 3 experts at the 4th level of the origin realm, and 1 person at the 5th level of the origin realm to kneel on the ground. Shatter your own front teeth and I'll spare your life. Chu Feng coldly spoke. Don't even think about that. One of them angrily howled. You want to die? Chu Feng lightly smiled, then flung one of his fingers. A ray of lightning shot out from that finger, and like a sharp sword it pierced that person's chest. Ah, that person painfully cried out before powerlessly laying on the floor. He did not breathe anymore. Chu Feng, you dare to kill us. You are dead. Our school will not forgive you. Not only you, even your own school will be exterminated. Seeing that Chu Feng really murdered, the 2 other people were fearful and afraid. BZZ*. Just after they spoke, 2 rays of lightning flashed past and the 2 people fell on the floor. After using the lightning methods to finish off the 3 of them, Chu Feng cast his icy gaze towards Liu Bio and Yangzi. Chu Feng, spare me, spare me. I will not dare to be disrespectful to your master anymore. Yangzi was so terrified that tears covered his face, and he took the initiative to beg at Chu Feng. Chu Feng, I'll shatter my front teeth. I'll shatter them right now, so please don't kill me. Liu Bio was quite blunt, and he raised his hand, then punched his mouth 3 times. Red blood flowed out after he did that. That was not wretchedness, that was simply sad. However, Chu Feng's had no expression on his face as he looked at what the 2 did, and he coldly said, Too late, Chu Feng, I'll kill you. Seeing that Chu Feng was going to kill him, Yangzi did not pettily beg anymore, and he rose to attack Chu Feng. Liu Bio also did the same thing. Both of them used rank 5 martial skills, and they channeled all their origin power into them. It was a wager on their life, and the power could not be compared to the attacks before. On one side, a huge tiger was condensed from origin power. Its fur pulsed, and it was vivid as though it was alive. Its roar was enough to shake the mountains and rivers, and its claws could shatter mountain peaks. It attacked Chu Feng with the might of being a king of 10,000 beasts. On the other side, sharp swords were formed by origin power, and they did not look illusionary. They looked quite real, and there were over 1,000 origin power flying swords. Truly, 1,000 swords were released at the same time with unstoppable might. Strong. At that instant, the faces of both the well-built young man and the alluring young female were tight, and fear was in their eyes. The attack in front of their eyes was easily enough to kill the 2 of them without leaving any residue. So, they could only stand behind Chu Feng. They had to stand behind the young man who was younger than both of them. The alluring young female even tightly grabbed onto Chu Feng's clothes because Chu Feng was the only person who she could rely on at that moment. Ho, it is still too weak. Chu Feng's long robe was moving back and forth from the wind created by the strong might. His hair also demonically fluttered while flying up and down. However, he was still standing where he was without dodging nor avoiding it. A faint smile was even hung on his face as he silently waited for the attack. Asterisk. As the attacks were going to engulf them, Chu Feng's eyes suddenly flashed, and a shiny and translucent spirit formation which was like a mirror appeared in front of him. Boom, the fierce tiger, and the thousands of swords collided onto the spirit formation, which was like a thin piece of ice at the same time. Instantly, violent ripples were created, and the force even shook the ground under Chu Feng's feet. But at the end, they were still unable to penetrate Chu Feng's line of defense. After the two persons' attacks disappeared, the spirit formation in front of Chu Feng was undamaged. There were not even any cracks. Are you even a person? With your cultivation, how can you grasp such methods? Liu Bio was panicking and he was terrified. He had never seen such a scary opponent before. He could not treat him as a person but as a monster. It's not that I, Chu Feng, am impressive, but none of you have seen a truly strong person. Chu Feng bitterly smiled, because he suddenly remembered the purple-clothed girl. In the eyes of many, he was already a monster. However, when compared to that purple-clothed girl, he was as ordinary as he could get. That was the distance between both humans. Bastard. Seeing that the attacks against Chu Feng were useless, Xianxia started to attack the spirit formation that locked them within. However, he was still useless, and that made him as angry as a storm, but he could not do anything about it. It's time to finish it. Finally, Chu Feng's face turned cold, and as he barely raised his hand, lightning surged out from it, and following that, it became two huge lightning dragons. They opened their bloody mouth, and after a deafening roar, they flew towards Xianxia and Liu Bio. The third thunder style. It was no longer Chu Feng's strongest method, but displaying it at that moment still brought incomparably terrifying might. It was similar to how a Heaven Realm expert could still display terrifying might with a rank 1 martial skill. Chu Feng, I will not forgive you even if I become a ghost. Those were the words that Xianxia last said, because when the lightning dragon consumed his body, he did not even make any noise. He was forcefully burnt up and there was not even a corpse remaining. After killing Xianxia and Liu Bio, Chu Feng used the third thunder style to destroy the other three corpses. He truly did not leave any traces behind. I hope that you two can keep this matter a secret. After finishing all that off, Chu Feng smiled and said to the young man and the young female, "Don't worry, we will absolutely not reveal half a word about this." The young female and the young man promised with everything they had. Although Chu Feng smiled quite kindly at them, after seeing what he could do from deep within their hearts, they already felt fear towards Chu Feng. After all, that matter was related to them. If they spread it out, there would be 100 troubles but 0 benefits, so naturally they would keep it a secret. Quite ruthless methods, killing and removing the traces, huh? But just at that time, a voice from nearby suddenly rang out. Who? Chu Feng slightly frowned from the sudden change. He spread out his spirit power, but he could not feel a single trace of aura nearby. Haha, afraid. Don't worry, we've already gotten used of these things and we won't talk about it. That voice rang out again. Behind a tall stone sculpture, two figures walked out. They were two young men. Their appearances were not ordinary, and the special black clothing that they were wearing was the clothing of the Jai clan. Jai clan. At that instant, not only Chu Feng, even the well-built young man and the alluring female felt quite shocked, because the name of the Jai clan was too famous. It represented the pinnacle of world spiritists, and they were the idols for many world spiritists. What intentions do you two have by secretly hiding there? Chu Feng's gaze was like a torch as he stared at the two people. Although they were close and in front of their eyes, Chu Feng was still unable to feel their auras. They were simply like the air, and Chu Feng knew that the two people were not simple. We just coincidentally passed by. Since we saw quite an entertaining battle, we stopped to take a look. The young man, who was slightly taller, faintly smiled and said, "Entertaining battle? They were just a bunch of trash from the Azure province, dogs biting dogs." The other slightly shorter young man had an expression of contempt. Trash from the Azure province. You too. After hearing the words of the slightly shorter young man, Chu Feng's face was clearly displeased. At the end, he was still from the Azure province, so naturally, he did not like people mocking his Azure province. Us, we are the ladders to heaven that you can never be compared to. You can only look up to us. The slightly shorter young man had smug written on his face, as he disdainfully looked at Chu Feng as well as the well-built young man and the alluring beauty behind Chu Feng. At that moment, not to mention Chu Feng, even the well-built young man, the alluring young female were greatly displeased. However, they did not dare to show that because they were people from the Jai clan. They really did have the qualifications to be arrogant. Asterisk whoosh asterisk suddenly, Chu Feng attacked. Without any warning, he attacked the slightly shorter young man with his lightning methods. HMPH. The slightly shorter young man was not simple, so he quickly discovered Chu Feng's actions. With a cold snort, he emanated his aura of the 5th level of the origin realm. Not only did he not dodge or avoid it, he raised his palm and slapped towards Chu Feng. However, he still underestimated Chu Feng. With the flickering of lightning under Chu Feng's feet, instantly he disappeared. When he reappeared, he was already behind the slightly shorter young man. Careful! In response, the slightly taller young man yelled out, but it was too late. Chu Feng kicked the waist of the slightly shorter young man, and since he was caught off guard, the slightly shorter young man directly fell face first onto the ground. Damn you, MM. The slightly shorter young man was incomparably furious as he opened his mouth, and he was going to curse. However, before he even finished speaking, Chu Feng's feet already descended from the heavens and landed on top of his brain, ferociously forcing his face into the earth. To me, Chu Feng, the ladder to heaven, is not for looking, it's for stepping. With lightning methods, Chu Feng struck the Jai clan member and stepped on him with his foot. That action was quite daring. That stupefied the well-built young man and the alluring young female. Their expressions were as wonderful as they could get, however. Most of it was fear. After all, they were tied up with Chu Feng, and since Chu Feng offended the Jai clan, even they had to be pulled down with him. Bro, can you spare him? The slightly taller Jai clan member did not attack but respectfully pleaded at Chu Feng. As for the reason why he didn't attack was simple. After seeing Chu Feng's strength and his methods, he was undoubtedly looking to die. If he attacked Chu Feng, if I spare him, would he spare me? Chu Feng coldly smiled and said, Bro, I Jai Chuan vow to the heavens that I will not do anything about today's matter. If my younger brother, Jai Heng, dares to find you for trouble, you don't need to do anything. I'll discipline him myself. The slightly taller young man raised his hand and guaranteed. He also emanated his aura. He was an expert of the 6th level of the origin realm. Chu Feng slightly frowned. He was in a bit of a difficult situation. At first, he was planning to kill the two people, and also steal the things that they had, because if they were able to escape from Chu Feng's spirit power detection, they would certainly have treasures on their bodies. However, he saw sincerity in Jai Chuan's eyes, and the reason why Jai Chuan was emanated his aura was not for displaying his might towards Chu Feng, it was to show sincerity. It allowed Chu Feng to know his foundation. Bro, my younger brother had spoke rudely before, so please take this as compensation. Jai Chuan took his own cosmos sack off and also Jai Heng's cosmos sack off of his waist. After taking 2 world spirit compasses out, he gave the 2 cosmos sacks over to Chu Feng. Chu Feng accepted the cosmos sacks, and after investigation, he discovered that there were dozens of origin beads inside. There were even some medical things for healing. To normal people, the things within were already quite expensive, but they weren't too much to Chu Feng. However, while Jai Chuan was doing that, Chu Feng truly could not get angry because Chu Feng was a person who liked to be persuaded but not forced. Chu Feng took the things out from the 2 cosmos sacks and stuffed them into his own. After that, he returned the 2 empty cosmos sacks back to Jai Chuan before pulling Jai Heng up from the ground and saying, "You have a good elder brother. I'll kill you." After being freed from his restrictions, he wanted to attack as if he was insane. Bang asterisk, however, before even Chu Feng moved, Jai Chuan landed a loud and clear slap on Jai Heng's face and angrily reprimanded, "Have you not lost enough face? Get over to the side." Just as he finished speaking, Jai Chuan kicked Jai Heng and caused him to fly a dozen or so meters away. Although Jai Heng was extremely angry, he did not dare to not obey Jai Chuan. After climbing back up, he did not say anything but fiercely glared at Chu Feng before leaving. "Chu Feng, thank you for giving me face. Although this cannot be said to be no discord, no concord, if we meet again by chance in the future, I will invite you to a cup of beer." Jai Chuan lightly smiled as he clasped his hands towards Chu Feng before catching up to Jai Heng. "Chu Feng bro, you've stirred up a disaster." After the 2 people disappeared from their line of sight, the well-built man had a face full of terror. "You really shouldn't have let them go. You simply released the tiger back to its mountain." The alluring young female was even more direct. "If you 2 are afraid, you can choose to return. I can point a road for you to go back." Chu Feng smiled and said, "We." The 2 of them sank into silence. Although Chu Feng angered a huge enemy and they were very afraid, the attraction to pass the second stage was even greater. After all, as long as they passed the second stage, they could save the money that would have been used to buy the world spirit white cloak. That was 1,000 origin beads. No matter who it was, that was not a small number. "If you're not afraid, continue. I will protect your safety while passing through this twisted forest." After saying those words, Chu Feng continued forward, and the 2 people behind also followed him. Chu Feng did understand the logic of releasing a tiger back to its mountain, especially after experiencing the Jai clan's methods to conceal their aura. Chu Feng walked quite carefully after that. From then on, they really did meet a few Jai clan members. However, after assessing Chu Feng and the others with a proud attitude, they quickly left as if afraid that Chu Feng would follow them. After several hours of walking, and finally, when the sun set in the west, they walked out of the twisted forest. They received a world spirit white cloak and also a spirit fruit seed. Can this thing really save Eggy? Looking at the completely green spirit fruit seed, which was as big as an almond in his palm, Chu Feng felt a bit of suspicion. Although that thing had some strange fluctuations, it was very weak, and Chu Feng really had his doubts. However, as he looked at the nearby exit in which he could see the Asura ghost tower after walking out of there, and also thinking of the changes that could be done to the seed within the Asura ghost tower, Chu Feng firmly walked out. When Chu Feng and the 2 others walked out of the twisted forest, at the same time, their gazes were attracted by an ancient tower from nearby. That tower was not tall and it only had 6 floors, but it had quite a bit of attraction power. The outer appearance of the ancient tower was very special, and it was like a sharp teeth pulled out from the ground. It was completely black, but under the shine of the setting sun, it emitted strange red lights as if the black-colored essence had a blood-red outer coat. It was quite strange. Although, more or less, the ancient tower was a bit scary, the feeling that it gave people was that it was very beautiful. That was where its attraction power laid. It was the legendary Asura Ghost Tower. However, at that very instant, the Asura Ghost Tower was closed. Everyone who wanted to attempt the third stage had to wait in a plaza outside of the tower. They were going to all enter at the same time when the tower opened. "The Asura Ghost Tower. I would really like to enter and have a look." The well-built young man's face was filled with yearning. "You don't think about it. After entering it, the pressure from the first floor would be enough to kill you." Without even caring about his feelings, the young female struck blows at him. The young man did not retort the young female's words because what she said was true. Ordinary world spiritists could not enter the Asura Ghost Tower. That was also why he did not plan to enter it. Brother Chu Feng, I wish you the best of luck to go on to the third floor. I heard that the third floor can make the spirit fruit seed grow branches and leaves. At that time, the spirit fruit seed would cost quite a bit. The alluring young female gave her own spirit fruit seed to Chu Feng. Chu Feng, bro, I know you can do it. I'll wait for you outside, and after you succeed, come here and find me. I'll invite you to a big meal. The well-built young man also gave his own spirit fruit seed to Chu Feng and gave Chu Feng an address as well. It was the place he was resting in, outside of the World Spirit Guild. Although the World Spirit Seed was fairly worthy, with Chu Feng's help, they already got the World Spirit White Cloak for free and saved themselves 1,000 origin beads, so they could not stop being grateful towards Chu Feng, and naturally, they would not care about the spirit fruit seed. After the well-built young man and the alluring young female left, Chu Feng also entered the plaza. All the people who prepared to enter the Asura Ghost Tower were waiting there. When the sky became dark, that was when the Asura Ghost Tower would open and they would enter it then. At the same time that Chu Feng stepped into the plaza, a pair of eyes that had killing intent silently locked onto Chu Feng. Chu Feng could feel that strange gaze, so he looked in the direction of that icy cold gaze. Indeed, the Jai clan member Jai Heng, who was stepped by him earlier, was currently fiercely staring at him from a distance. Next to Jai Heng were dozens of Jai clan members, and Chu Feng could feel the pressure. The Jai clan members were extremely strong, especially the young man called Jai Bufin. He was an expert of the 7th level of the Origin realm. But luckily, Jai Chuan was always next to Jai Heng, and since he saw that Jai Heng's gaze was abnormal, he pulled Jai Heng and cast a sharp gaze at him. As he was being threatened by Jai Chuan, Jai Heng did not say anything and cast his gaze away. That scene made Chu Feng relax. It could be seen that Jai Chuan still kept his promise, and at least they didn't tell their clan about Chu Feng stepping on Jai Heng. Or else, with Jai clan's arrogant nature, they would have already found Chu Feng for trouble. Other than the Jai clan members, there were dozens of people gathered on the other side as well. Those were the World Spirit Guild's geniuses. The opposing might of the two powers was very apparent, and it could be seen that within the Asura Ghost Tower there would certainly be some conflicts. Other than the World Spirit Guild and the Jai clan, there were also dozens of scattered people who were like Chu Feng, which meant that although there were quite a few people that participated in the White Cloak exam, at the end, there were not even 300 people who dared to challenge the Asura Ghost Tower. Look, it's the elders from the World Spirit Guild. Suddenly, someone yelled out, and everyone in the entire plaza looked at one side. A large group of people appeared, and they were all experts of the World Spirit Guild. Every single person had World Spirit Grey Cloaks, and 3 old people who had white hairs and beards were escorted by those experts. Those old people did not wear World Spirit Cloaks that represented their status. They only wore simple cloth clothing. Although they had white hairs and beards, they had a florid complexion. One could feel their drawn-out aura, yet could not determine their depth. They were the real cultivation experts, and they were all at the peak of the profound realm. That isn't that the Jai clan, they're here as well. Just at that time, on the other side of the plaza, another group of people who wore black clothing appeared. There were also innumerable experts, and there were also 3 old people who led. Their cultivation was unfathomably deep, but their gazes were abnormally prideful. It was the Jai clan. The Jai clan arrived as well. The World Spirit Guild is allowing the Jai clan to enter their own territory. You don't understand. Today is a special day, since the geniuses of the Jai clan are here to prevent them from being bullied by others. Naturally, the elders need to arrive as well. Besides, since the World Spirit Guild has stopped fighting for such a long time and they are an alliance, of course the Jai clan can come here. Chu Feng could still hear the quiet discussions of the people, and he gained another level of understanding. Although the World Spirit Guild and the Jai clan had a relationship of an enemy, and that was something that everyone knew on the surface, they were an alliance. Or perhaps the relationship of the two powers were not as unfriendly as people thought, or perhaps the two of them really were like fire and water. As for who truly knew, only the higher ups knew, so Chu Feng didn't even bother to think about it. After the two group of people appeared, they did not walk into the plaza but into a palace that was opposite to the Asura Ghost Tower. From there, they could see the entire Asura Ghost Tower, and it should be a resting place for them. At the same time, the powerful people from the World Spirit Guild started to explain the rules and the things to notice after entering the Asura Ghost Tower. Generally, if one could not resist the spirit pressure within, quickly leave the Asura Ghost Tower and do not forcefully endure, or they would lose their lives. Also, everyone was given a protective talisman if one could not continue or had no way of getting out of the Asura Ghost Tower by themselves. They could break the talisman and the World Spirit Guild would send people to save them. Of course, those who broke the talisman were the same as those who failed the exam. They would even lose their qualification to purchase the World Spirit White Cloak. After the rules, the reddened clouds from the sunset were no more, and both the heaven and the earth were replaced with darkness. The Asura Ghost Tower was even stranger within the night because it was no longer completely dark. Within the black-colored tower, from inside to outside, it emitted a faint, blood-red light, as if it was created by fresh blood. It was strange yet beautiful. Asterisk rumble 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 asterisk. Under the envelopment of the darkness, the demon-like doors to the Asura Ghost Tower finally slowly opened. After the doors opened, the thing that appeared in front of them was not the insides of the Asura Ghost Tower. It was a blood-red spirit formation entrance. That was the real entrance to the Asura Ghost Tower. Go tilde 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 asterisk whoosh whoosh whoosh. Asterisk suddenly, someone shouted out, and following that, the geniuses from the World Spirit Guild and the geniuses from the Jai clan all rushed in at the same time. They were extremely quick, and they displayed cultivation that was not mediocre. Especially the peak genius of the World Spirit Guild, Gu Bo, and also the representative genius of the Jai clan, Jai Bufin. Those two people were young geniuses who had the cultivation of the 7th level of the Origin realm. Within an instant, both of them entered the Asura Ghost Tower, and they displayed methods that surpassed others. After those two people rushed in, only then did the other people dare to go near the Asura Ghost Tower. Chu Feng did not hurry as well. He held the 3 spirit fruit seeds in his hand, and he also followed the current of people as he entered the Asura Ghost Tower. After stepping into the blood-red colored spirit formation entrance, Chu Feng first experienced darkness. Then when light appeared in front of his eyes, strong pressure engulfed him from all directions. Spirit pressure. Spirit pressure was currently corroding Chu Feng's body. However, when Chu Feng spread out his spirit power, it effectively held the spirit pressure back. Chu Feng also clearly felt that under the disturbance of the spirit pressure, change happened to the spirit fruit seeds within Chu Feng's hand. But before Chu Feng even got the chance to look at what happened to that spirit fruit seed, a miserable cry rang out from his surroundings. Someone was unable to hold the pressure of the spirit pressure, and 7 of his facial orifices had blood flowing out of them as he painfully rolled back and forth on the ground. Suddenly, that person grabbed in front of him. It turned out that his protective talisman dropped nearby. However, at that instant, he already lost the ability to pick up that talisman. At that very moment, a large number of people were surging in. But looking at that scene, many people only looked with cold eyes. Some people didn't even look at him as they sat cross-legged and started to feed the spirit fruit seed in their hands with the spirit pressure. Humans are truly cold. Chu Feng shook his head and arrived in front of that person. He picked up the talisman that belonged to him, but he didn't return to him. He carried that person onto his back. At that instant, many people were confused. Even the person on Chu Feng's back cried in whispers as if protesting why he didn't break the protective talisman for him to save his life. However, after Chu Feng carried him on his back, arrived at the spirit formation entrance and stuffed the talisman into his cosmos sack, he suddenly understood. Chu Feng was not saving him but helping him. He was truly helping. He did not help him by breaking the protective talisman, because breaking that would cause him to fail his exam. Chu Feng wanted him to escape the danger, but also succeed in his exam. Chu Feng pushed that person out. At that instant, Chu Feng could see that person's gaze of gratitude, and he could also feel the strange gazes of the surrounding people. After all, it was a very physically exhausting thing to carry someone on his back while walking in the Asura ghost tower that was filled with spirit pressure. Most people would not have done that. "Oh, you are quite full of compassion, huh?" But just at that time, a dark, strange aura yet somewhat familiar voice rang out behind Chu Feng. He turned his head to look, and only then did Chu Feng notice that the insides of the Asura ghost tower was quite grand and very big. There were 3 people standing on the stairs that led to the second floor. The person in the middle was none other than Jai Heng. The 2 people standing next to Jai Heng were both Jai clan members, and they were currently giving off the aura of the 6th level of the origin realm. Chu Feng swept his glance around, and he discovered that despite a lot of people sitting on the 1st floor of the Asura ghost tower, other than Jai Heng and the 2 others, there were no other Jai clan members. It could be seen that Jai Heng was intentionally waiting for him. "Your brother let you stay behind." Chu Feng was quite displeased in his heart. After all, Jai Chuan was not next to Jai Heng, and that made Chu Feng feel that it was intentional by Jai Chuan. "What? You want to threaten me with my brother? I'll tell you that you won't have a chance because you won't go onto the 2nd floor." Jai Heng sneered as he glared at Chu Feng with killing intent revealed in his gaze. It could be seen that he hated Chu Feng straight to the bones. "Jai Heng, were you really beaten by this brat?" After one of the Jai clan members looked at Chu Feng, they were quite suspicious. "Don't underestimate him. He does have some methods, and he cannot be treated as a normal person at the 1st level of the origin realm," Jai Heng reminded. "No matter how much more impressive he is only at the 1st level of the origin realm. Jai Gang, you and I attack together to finish off his brat. Quickly go and don't waste too much time here." That Jai clan member looked at the other Jai clan member who had the cultivation of the 6th level of the origin realm. That person nodded and cast his ferocious gaze at Chu Feng. The 2 of them were going to attack Chu Feng. "Oh, the Jai clan are bullying people as a group again." But just at that time, another voice suddenly rang out. Looking over, they saw 5 figures standing in the corner of the Asura ghost tower. There were 3 males and 2 females. The 5 of them had quite strong auras, and they were all at the 6th level of the origin realm. They were currently smiling while looking at Jai Heng and the others. From their clothes, they were the geniuses of the world spirit guild. "Makyang, why aren't you quickly going up? What are you doing here?" Seeing that, the Jai clan member called Jai Gang questioned. "I knew that your Jai clan would bully others. As someone from the World Spirit Guild, naturally, we would have the duty to maintain a fair examination environment." The male called Makyang smiled and said. As he spoke, he did not forget to shoot Chu Feng a glance and kindly nodded at him. "Makyang, are you really going to meddle in so many affairs?" The Jai clan members' faces were very ugly. "So what if I am?" Makyang indifferently smiled and said. "HMPH, just you see." The Jai clan member coldly snorted, then walked up. After all, they did not have confidence to face 5 experts who were at the 6th level of the origin realm. After Jai Heng bitterly looked at Chu Feng, he could only follow as well. "Bro, thanks." Chu Feng walked in front of Makyang and the others and politely clasped his hands towards them. After all, they were complete strangers, yet they were willing to help him. Chu Feng was quite moved from that. "You're too polite. I am Makying. I wonder how I should call you as." That Makying was quite courteous, and the 4 other people next to him also amiably nodded at Chu Feng. "I am Chu Feng." Chu Feng smiled and replied. He had quite good impressions towards the people from the World Spirit Guild because from the start, the geniuses of the World Spirit Guild did not have any airs of arrogance. They treated everyone with kindness. They sharply contrasted the geniuses from the Jai clan. Especially at that instant, after Makying helped him out a bit, Chu Feng's good impression towards the people from the World Spirit Guild multiplied by several times. "So it's Chu Feng, bro. Your spirit power is quite impressive. On the first floor, you don't have a red face and you're not gasping, so it seems that you won't be satisfied here. You are prepared to go on to the second floor, right?" Makying smiled and asked. Chu Feng smiled and nodded. "Since it's like this, come together with us." Makying smiled and led as he walked toward the second floor. "Sorry for the trouble." Naturally, Chu Feng understood what Makying intended. He was worried that Jai Heng and the others would make things difficult for Chu Feng again, so he wanted to protect Chu Feng as he went up the second floor. Chu Feng followed Makying and he turned around to step on the stairs that led to the second floor. At the end of the stairs, similarly, there was also a spirit formation entrance. Behind that was the true second floor. In the instant that he entered the spirit formation entrance, Chu Feng felt that the spirit pressure instantly strengthened by several times. However, to Chu Feng, it did not hurt nor did it itch, and it was completely within his endurable range. Looking back at Makying and the others, more or less, they were a bit pressured, but they could endure it. After entering the second floor and after a few turns, only then did they enter the main hall. However, when Chu Feng swept his gaze towards his surroundings, his line of sight couldn't help but be attracted to a group of people, because the group of people were exactly the same as Jai Heng. As they blocked the road towards the third floor, there were 25 Jai clan members. 20 of them were at the 5th level of the Origin Realm, while 5 of them were at the 6th level of the Origin Realm. The 2 people who wanted to help Jai Heng to take care of Chu Feng were within them. As for the person who led, it was Jai Chuan. After Jai Heng saw Chu Feng, a cold smile couldn't help but be raised on the corner of his mouth. However, Jai Chuan tightly frowned as he shot an eye expression towards Chu Feng, as if he was telling Chu Feng to get away from Makying. Chu Feng could understand Jai Chuan's meaning because he knew that the group of Jai clan members were not waiting for him. They wanted to take care of Makying and the others from the World Spirit Guild, because at that very instant, in front of the Jai clan members, young males and females laid on the ground, and they were all people from the World Spirit Guild. "You things that ought to die, you dare to act so wildly in my World Spirit Guild's territory." After seeing that, flames of fury burned within Makying and the others' heart as they loudly roared. "He, what are you talking about? Clearly their own spirit power were too weak and they had no way of resisting the spirit pressure in here. How is it related to us?" The Jai clan members sneered. "HMPH, we'll see if you can resist the spirit pressure here." Makying didn't bother speaking useless words, and he attacked at the same time along with the 4 comrades next to him. They displayed all sorts of strong martial skills and attacked the Jai clan members. "Looking to die? I'll grant that wish." The Jai clan did not back down, and they also fought aggressively with Makying and the others. Makying and the others' cultivation were not weak, and they were all at the 6th level of the Origin Realm. However, perhaps because they were affected by the spirit pressure, they were not able to use their full strength. In addition, the Jai clan had the numbers advantage, so clearly they were disadvantaged as they quickly entered a bad situation. "Makying, if you beg for forgiveness on the ground, we can consider letting you enter the 3rd floor." Someone said that within the Jai clan. "You want us to kneel down and beg for forgiveness? Go dream." Makying coldly snorted and said, "Then you cannot blame us for being heartless. Today you will stop on this second floor." The Jai clan member howled. "Ah, just." As he finished speaking, suddenly, a painful cry rang out and everyone saw a figure flew over. At the end, he fiercely collided onto the wall. After vomiting blood, he directly lost consciousness. Many people did not expect the sudden scene. Although the Jai clan members wanted to force the people from the World Spirit Guild to remain on that floor, they never thought about heavily injuring them. After all, it was the territory of the World Spirit Guild. But when they saw the heavily injured person, their faces changed greatly because that wasn't a person from the World Spirit Guild, it was a Jai clan member. "What is this?" That scene made the Jai clan members endlessly shocked. Even Makyang and the others from the World Spirit Guild were dumbfounded and they couldn't understand what happened instantly. "You are correct. Today, no one can save any of you." Just at that time, a faint laughing sound suddenly rang out. Looking over, they were greatly shocked once again. Chu Feng already walked into their battle circle and he was even rubbing his hands while being eager for battle. "Chu Feng bro, you attacked just now." Makyang stared at Chu Feng with astonishment because the Jish clan member who fell on the ground was heavily injured and lost consciousness was at the 5th level of the origin realm. However, everyone could feel that Chu Feng was at the 1st level of the origin realm. "Makyang bro, I have some past history with the Jai clan, so how about letting me take care of them?" Chu Feng smiled. You want to take care of all of them by yourself." Another young female from the World Spirit Guild opened her mouth with shock. "They are just a group of mediocre people. I, Chu Feng, am sufficient against them. You can just rest on the side." Chu Feng smiled and waved his hand towards Makyang. "Quite some words you have there." After hearing Chu Feng's words, a Jai clan member was furious, and as he spoke, he was going to attack Chu Feng. But before he even attacked, a big hand stopped him. It was Jai Chuan. Although Jai Chuan could be said to be abnormally fierce when he attacked Makyang and the others, at that instant when he looked at Chu Feng, he only had smiles on his face and he was very friendly. "Chu Feng bro, these are personal grudges between my Jai clan and the World Spirit Guild. I wonder if you cannot interfere in this matter." Jai Chuan smiled and said to Chu Feng, "I can ignore your grudges, but I need to clear our grudges right." While Chu Feng spoke, he shot a glance at Jai Heng and also at the two people who helped Jai Heng. "Our grudges." Jai Chuan was clearly confused, but he quickly responded as he loudly bellowed at Jai Heng, Jai Gang, and the other Jai clan member. "You bastards! Did you do something to Chu Feng bro?" Jai Heng lowered his head and did not speak. It could be seen that he was afraid of Jai Chuan. In reality, when Jai Chuan spoke, the other Jai clan members did not dare to offend him as well. It could be seen that Jai Chuan had quite a position within the Jai clan. "Whatever, no need to act such a way. Even if you don't have any enmity towards me, that does not mean that they don't. The pillars have already been set and they cannot be broken by you." Chu Feng could see that Jai Chuan really did not want him as an enemy. But the other Jai clan members did not think that way as well. After hearing Chu Feng's words, Jai Chuan helplessly sighed, then said, "Chu Feng bro, I, Jai Chuan, really don't want to attack you, but I have a mission. I must restrain these people from the World Spirit Guild down on this 2nd floor. It seems that I can only offend you." After speaking, Jai Chuan prepared to attack. The pressure of the 6th level of the origin realm was released, and layers of origin power howled in the surrounding air. Jai Chuan was a bit stronger than Makyang, and he was not to be underestimated. Attack! When Jai Chuan attacked at the same time, Jai Heng, Jai Gang, and the other Jai clan members attacked as well. All of them displayed their strong martial skills, surrounded, and attacked Chu Feng. Several strong martial skills roared and tore the air. The might of the origin power filled the entire hall. From that attack, the might itself was enough to cause a person to die. A great time to come. However, Chu Feng was not afraid in the slightest when he faced the attacks of the crowd. Under the pressure of the spirit pressure, clearly, Jai Chuan and the others were affected, and they had no way of using their true strength. As for Chu Feng, he was not really affected that much, and he could use his true power. Within the Jai clan, even if there were 5 people at the 6th level of the origin realm and 20 people in the 5th level of the origin realm, Chu Feng was not scared at all. Asterisk whoosh whoosh asterisk Chu Feng used the Imperial Sky technique, and like a ghost, he disappeared from where he stood. When he reappeared, he was already within the Jai clan crowd. Chu Feng was extremely quick and many people could not react in time. With a huge step, he arrived in front of Jai Heng. He extended his right hand and grabbed Jai Heng's lapel, then punched his face several times with huge bangs. Tilde tilde tilde. After several punches, Jai Heng had blood all over his face. His nose was crooked, his front teeth were shattered, and his entire face was deformed. Tears and watery blood mixed together as he howled in anguish. "You are looking to die." Seeing that the people from the same clan being beaten up so wretchedly, the Jai clan started to have killing intents. Their attacks became unusually fierce. It was as though they wanted to take Chu Feng's life. "Want to kill me? None of you are worthy enough." Chu Feng waved his hand and threw a Jai Heng away. He ferociously collided into the wall, and with a huge boom, cracking sounds could be heard along with Jai Heng's painful howling. Obviously, several bones on his body were snapped into several pieces. After throwing Jai Heng away, Chu Feng used the Imperial Sky technique once again and easily dodged the Jai clan members' fatal attacks. This time, he rushed towards an expert of the 6th level of the origin realm. It was Jai Gang, the person who wanted to take care of Chu Feng before on the 1st floor. "Brat, don't be too arrogant." After seeing Chu Feng's methods, Jai Gang did not have the confidence he had earlier, and he did not meet force with force. He quickly condensed a spirit formation and enveloped him within it to block Chu Feng's attack. Asterisk bang asterisk, but when Chu Feng's big hands came grabbing, the spirit formation had no way of holding it off. In front of Chu Feng's palm, it was like glass as it shattered into pieces. After shattering the spirit formation, Chu Feng grabbed Jai Gang's lapel. Originally, Jai Gang wanted to fight against it, but it was useless as Chu Feng's pressure already surrounded him. At the end, he could only let Chu Feng throw him up high and fiercely fall onto the floor. As he heard the cracking noises coming from his back, he felt the pain of his vertebra breaking. Asterisk ta asterisk after Jai Gang fiercely fell onto the floor, Chu Feng raised his foot and stamped on his chest. He shattered his chest bones, then swept his gaze towards his surroundings and said, "A bunch of trash. Come, as you wish. You bastard, I'll skin you alive." Another expert of the 6th level of the origin realm rushed over and displayed a rank 5 martial skill. After that martial skill was used, origin power condensed and formed into 2 pale white hurricanes. They contained terrifying might, and with rumbling roaring they swirled towards Chu Feng. This time, Chu Feng did not dodge or avoid it. He raised his hand and forcibly took that person's rank 5 skill head-on. After that, he leaped and arrived next to that person. He pressed him down to the ground, then ruthlessly stepped on him several times, to the point that his flesh and blood flew everywhere. Painful cries never ended, and it was even more miserable than Jai Gang and Jai Heng. Heavens, where did this boy come from? How is he so strong? At first, the people from the World Spirit Guild wanted to help, but when they saw the scene in front of them, they were dumbstruck. Because anyone who had eyes could see the powerfulness of Chu Feng, even though they had a lot of people. And even though their cultivation was not weak, the strength between Chu Feng and them was too great. Chu Feng was completely playing around with them within his palm. It could be said that the strength needed to take care of them was even less than blowing dust away. The superhuman battle power surpassed their imaginations, yet was currently happening in reality. Quite impressive. Not only does he have exceeding battle power, his spirit power is not ordinary as well. Jai Chuan and the other Jai clan members are all restricted by this spirit pressure and they have no way of displaying their full strength. However, Chu Feng Bro is different. It seems that he isn't affected by the spirit pressure at all, and he can use his full strength. That strong spirit power can be compared to Gu Bo, and looking at how he is, I think that it would not be an issue for him to enter the 4th floor. Makyang said, "What? Enter the 4th floor? Able to be compared to Gu Bo? Is this guy really that strong?" After hearing Makyang's words, the people from the World Spirit Guild were incomparably shocked. Just at that time, Chu Feng waved his arm and his origin power formed into a violent hurricane, as it directly turned several Jai clan members over on the floor, and they lost consciousness as well. Not only that, with his methods, he can even go onto the 5th floor. This person is too strong. If he is already like this at this age, I wonder what realm he would reach after a few years. Luckily, we've set up a good relationship with him, or else he would very possibly be a great enemy in the future, Makyang seriously said to the people next to him, because he had a thought in his heart. It was that he had to have a good relationship with Chu Feng, because he felt that Chu Feng's talent was even greater than their own genius, Gu Bo. He was a rare genius, and he had to be roped into their World Spirit Guild and be used by them. At the same time, Chu Feng weakened his attacks. After several of the Jai clan members who were at the 6th level of the Origin realm were ruthlessly beaten up, the Jai clan members at the 5th level of the Origin realm were like fishes on a chopping board as they were freely slaughtered by Chu Feng. The Jai clan members who even wanted to do anything to Chu Feng before finally realized the seriousness of that matter. How was Chu Feng even a soft persimmon that could be squeezed by anyone? He was simply an insane, twisted person. Not only did he have the ability to fight against those people, his attacks were abnormally ruthless and they were almost killed by him. They really kicked an iron board. That time, it wasn't a normal iron board, but it was an extremely hard iron board, not afraid of the heavens nor the earth, doing things while disregarding the consequences, but an iron board that had a certain strength. Under that situation, the Jai clan members already had no more killing intent from before. Replacing it was endless fear. Some people wanted to escape to the 3rd floor to request for reinforcements, but Chu Feng did not even give that chance to him. The huge spirit formation enveloped them, and every single person became the birds within a cage because no one could even damage the spirit formation that Chu Feng laid. At that instant, on the 2nd floor of the Asura Ghost Tower, Chu Feng was the main slaughterer and no one could defend against him. "Die, you dare to treat us like this. You better not leave this place, or else if you do, my Jai clan's elders will take your life. Not only you, even." A Jai clan member who was being stepped by Chu Feng was fiercely threatening him. However, before he even finished speaking, Chu Feng completely shut his mouth up. In front of their eyes of the 25 Jai clan members, 24 of them already lost consciousness. The ones with light injuries tore a few tendons and broke a few bones, while the ones with heavy injuries had blood all over their body and they were seriously injured. "Chu Feng bro, you've really stirred up a disaster this time. The seniors of my Jai clan will not forgive you." Jai Chuan did not attack Chu Feng again. In the instant that Chu Feng dodged his attack, he already knew that they could not beat Chu Feng. From start to finish, he stood on the side and watched as Chu Feng madly flattened his clan members. With how your Jai clan does things, they will certainly not forgive Chu Feng bro, but within the Spirit Province, my World Spirit Guild will protect him. Just at that time, Makyang and the others walked over. "Are you able to protect him?" Jai Chuan asked. "You can try and see." Makyang was full of confidence. "That's good." Jai Chuan nodded, then looked at Chu Feng and said, "Chu Feng bro, no matter how you and my Jai clan be, I, Jai Chuan, do not want to have any enmity between us. I hope that this hatred can be dissolved one day and that we can become friends. Go ahead, Jai. Chuan closed his eyes. He just gave up on resisting and let Chu Feng handle him however he wished to. If you want to, you can come up as well. However, Chu Feng did not attack Jai Chuan because he could tell that Jai Chuan was different from the other Jai clan members. Although the Jai Chuan would not be kind to the people from the World Spirit Guild, he did not have any evil intentions. After Chu Feng walked away, some Jai clan members wanted to attack Jai Chuan. After all, Jai Chuan did hit some of them to make them lose consciousness. However, the people who wanted to attack were forcefully blocked by Makying. With a faint smile, Makying walked next to Jai Chuan, knelt down and quietly said next to his ear, "Jai Chuan, your eyes are quite special and you see that Chu Feng, bro, is a genius. But sadly, with your Jai clan's attitude, they are fated to have difficulties with relationships with other clans. You have created a huge enemy, whereas we formed a friendship with a genius. This is also why my World Spirit Guild is able to become stronger and stronger while your Jai clan declines at the very moment." After saying that, Makying caught up to Chu Feng. The 4 other people stayed behind and brought the injured people out. Jai Chuan did not walk towards the 3rd floor, and like the people from the World Spirit Guild, he also brought the injured people outside. When those injured people were brought out of the Asura Ghost Tower, there was a huge uproar. The higher-ups of the World Spirit Guild and the Jai clan almost attacked each other from fury. Since Jai Chuan and the other people from the World Spirit Guild did not say anything about Chu Feng heavily injuring the Jai clan, the Jai clan members thought that the ruthless attacks were done by the people from the World Spirit Guild. However, since the World Spirit Guild also had injured people, both sides did not do anything about it. In addition, since it was the World Spirit Guild's land, the Jishi clan were not too persistent and at the end, they calmed down. After bringing all the injured clan members out from the Asura Ghost Tower, Jai Chuan did not enter the tower again. He only stood behind the clan's elder as he stared at the Asura Ghost Tower. Under the curtains of the night, the Asura Ghost Tower was extremely beautiful and it was quite special as well. When a life entered the tower, it would give out a bit of blue-colored light. The 1st floor had the most number of blue-colored light. Currently, there were some that appeared on the 2nd floor as well, and it was still increasing. There were even more on the 3rd floor when compared with the 2nd floor, because the geniuses from the World Spirit Guild and the geniuses from the Jai clan were gathered on the 3rd floor. Of course, other than those geniuses, almost no one else was able to step onto the 3rd floor. However, Jai Chuan knew in his heart that another person could step onto that floor and that person could very possibly change something. The scale of his Jai clan and the World Spirit Guild's battle would be tipped by Chu Feng. Getting from the 1st floor to the 2nd floor already required one to walk on those stairs. However, to get from the 2nd floor to the 3rd floor required one to pass through many little obstructions. That wasted a bit of Chu Feng and Makying's time, but at the end, the 2 of them still successfully arrived at the entrance to the 3rd floor. However, after passing through the spirit formation, Makying's face changed greatly and his aura instantly became extremely feeble as he fell to the floor. Seeing that, Chu Feng quickly supported him up and nervously asked, "What happened? You can't hold the spirit pressure back here." Chu Feng felt quite shocked. Although the spirit pressure on the 3rd floor strengthened quite a bit, he could still endure it. Accordingly, with Makying's spirit power, even if there's pressure he would not be forced to that state. Quickly take me out, I can't take pressure here." Makying very painfully said those words. Chu Feng did not waste any time and he quickly supported him. As they returned to the passages, "Makying bro, are you better now?" At that instant, although Makying still had a pale white complexion, the strong pressuring feeling was no longer there so he could freely move. He was currently roughly gasping in huge breaths. "Chu Feng bro, the spirit pressure on the 3rd floor is a bit off. Something must have happened, and the Jai clan most likely used some special method. Chu Feng bro, take it as me begging you. Go to the third floor and take a look. If the Jai clan wants to harm my World Spirit Guild, please save their lives and help them out. Suddenly, Makyang grabbed Chu Feng's hand and with a face of nervousness he pleaded, Makyang bro, don't worry. If something really did happen, I, Chu Feng, will do everything I can to protect your World Spirit Guild. As he saw Makyang's nervous expression, Chu Feng was also aware that something was wrong as he turned around and rushed towards the third floor. It was not that Chu Feng was willing to be a good person, but at that moment, he already thoroughly offended the Jai clan, so he had to gain a friendly relationship with the World Spirit Guild. The better impression he left for the World Spirit Guild, the better protection he would get from the World Spirit Guild. If all went well, it would also greatly help his future development. Chu Feng returned to the third floor once again, and after a few turns, he finally arrived at the main hall, and the shocking scene also appeared in front of his eyes. Within the spacious hall, there were two groups of people. The first were the geniuses of the Jishi clan, and they were standing where they were. Although their faces were a bit ugly, it was still endurable, and they didn't receive too significant effects, not to mention how Makyang looked like. Who they faced were the people from the World Spirit Guild. However, in front of his eyes, almost everyone from the World Spirit Guild were laying on the floor with painful expressions, as if they were enduring huge pressure. Their situation was exactly like Makyang's. Jai Bufin, you are despicable. You dare to use the on this third floor to press us down. The peak-level genius of the World Spirit Guild, Gu Bo, was the only person who was able to remain standing. However, rains of sweat were flowing down his face, and it could be seen that even though he could endure that pressure, it was extremely exhausting. Gu Bo, don't say it like that. What is despicable? These are called methods. It can only be said that your World Spirit Guild seized this Asura ghost tower for so long yet did not understand it enough. My Jai clan is able to activate the here is because of our seniors' explorations. If you had to blame anyone, you can only blame your people from the World Spirit Guild for being too useless. Jai Bufin sneered and said while his tone was filled with mock. HMPH. Do you really think that only your Jai clan understands this Asura ghost tower? I'll let you experience an incomprehensible formation. Gu Bo's expression changed greatly as he layered his palms and hit out a special hand seal. A wave of strange ripple was sent out, as the middle, and it blended with the Asura ghost tower. Asterisk rumble rumble asterisk. At that instant, rumbling noises came from the third floor of the Asura ghost tower. The floor couldn't help but lightly tremble as a burst of strong power was being released. Quick, stop him. Seeing that, Jai Bufin knew that something was going wrong, and as he spoke he was going to attack. But it was too late. Gu Bo suddenly raised both of his hands and the strong power instantly engulfed the third floor. The faces of the Jai clan members who were at ease earlier hugely changed, and like the people from the World Spirit Guild, they powerlessly laid on the ground. Even Jai Bufin immediately felt the strong pressure. He quickly sat cross-legged on the ground and did special hand seals. After that, he fiercely glared at Gu Bo and said, "You bastard, what did you activate?" Seeing that the Jai clan did not threaten himself anymore, Gu Bo also quickly sat cross-legged and did hand seals as well to better resist against the pressure. Then he said, "I know that all of you have a certain type of treasure on your bodies, and that treasure can let you ignore the pressure after you activate the on the third floor. However, you didn't know that after so many years of exploration, we already discovered an even stronger in the Asura ghost tower. There is no treasure that can hold that back. Unless one's personal strength is powerful enough, they should not even think of resisting against the pressure from this formation. Originally, I didn't want to activate this formation because it has no benefits to neither you nor me. However, I never would have thought that you would be so despicable and in order to decrease our examination results, you did such things. Right now I have no way of closing this formation after activating it. All of us are stopped at the third floor and everything was forced by you. Gu Bo extremely furiously said. It seems that I underestimated you, but no matter. At most, we go no further than the third floor. Jai, Bufin said. Who said that you would go no further than the third floor? But just at that time, Chu Feng's indifferent voice suddenly rang out, who? As they faced that sudden change, Jai Bufin and the other Jai clan members, in addition to Gu Bo and the other geniuses from the World Spirit Guild, were stunned. They cast their gaze towards the entrance, and they discovered that Chu Feng was slowly walking towards them. His effortlessly walking appearance, and his attitude of being at ease, was as though he could not feel a single trace of the pressure from the Form-S formation, not to mention the spirit pressure from the third floor. Who are you? After seeing Chu Feng, everyone was greatly shocked. The spirit pressure on the third floor was extremely strong, and after activating the double formless formations, those at the 5th level of the origin realm and the 6th level of the origin realm were pressured to lay on the floor, and it was hard for them to get up. Even Gu Bo and Jai Bufin, the two peak-level geniuses, were greatly affected, and they could not continue forward towards the tunnel to the 4th floor. They could only wait there. However, Chu Feng was not affected at all, and it shocked people too much. However, at the same time that they were shocked, everyone prepared themselves as if a great enemy was approaching. After all, at that moment, most of them could not even protect themselves, and they were forcibly enduring at that place. At that instant, when a person like Chu Feng appeared, it was threatening them greatly. I am a friend of yours. I am entrusted by Makyang to come and help you. Seeming to feel the fear of the crowd, Chu Feng kindly smiled at Gu Bo and the others. Those who had spirit power would not have weak observation power, especially when every single person on scene had extremely strong spirit power. From Chu Feng's tone, they could feel that he did not seem to be lying, and he seemed to be there to help them. At that instant, the people from the World Spirit Guild were as if a huge burden was released, and they couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. And when Chu Feng said the following words, they instantly rejoiced. Chu Feng looked at Jai Bufin and the other Jai clan members and said, "As for you, all of you are my enemies, and I'm afraid that I cannot let you pass this exam." Rubbish! Who do you think you are? A Jai clan member who was at the 6th level of the origin realm tried to climb up while using all his power. He had thoughts of attacking Chu Feng. Him who could not even protect himself was kicked by Chu Feng's raised foot. He flew for several meters, collided with a wall, and lost consciousness. Bastard, who are you? You dare to attack my Jai clan? Seeing that, Jai Bufin's face uselessly changed greatly, but he did not attack. From Chu Feng's first kick, he could tell that Chu Feng's strength did not allow for any underestimations. At least, the current him might not be able to beat Chu Feng. I am the person who will finish this exam for you. Chu Feng lightly smiled but didn't attack anyone else. He only stole the protective talisman from one of the people, then extended his hand towards the other Jai clan members. At that instant, the Jai clan members did not even have the strength to tie up a chicken, and they were helpless against Chu Feng's plundering. At the end, they could only stare as they let Chu Feng take all the protective talisman from their bodies. What are you planning to do? Jai Bufin panicked. He had a bad premonition while looking at the large bundle of protective talisman within Chu Feng's hand. Nothing much, just sending you off. Chu Feng chuckled, then suddenly clenched his hand. The dozens of protective talisman were pinched into pieces, and at the same time, a strange wave was also sent out. You bastard! At that instant, Jai Bufin was enraged. He could not remain calm anymore. He stood up, emanated his aura of the 7th level of the origin realm, and pressed it towards Chu Feng. There's still you. Chu Feng did not even put the pressure within his eyes, and he only opened both of his hands and grabbed towards Jai Bufen's cosmos sack. Chu Feng was not planning on taking his treasures, but only his protective talisman. As long as the protective talisman was broken, it meant that they gave up on the exam. Failing in the exam was the biggest humiliation to their Jai clan. However, Jai Bufen did have some methods. Seeing that the pressure did not work, he immediately sent several attacks out. Every strike was stronger than the past strike, and every strike was fiercer than the past strike. It could be seen that the top-level genius of the Jai clan did have some outstanding methods. However, no matter how much fiercer Jai Bufen's attacks were, they were not enough to scare Chu Feng. He did not even need to use any martial skills. With the raise of his hand and foot, he could easily dissolve the attacks as if they were nothing. This guy can really not be bound by the formless formation and the spirit pressure of the third floor. What kind of person is he? Gu Bo was silently looking at everything, and his expression was extremely complicated. He discovered the unordinary area of Chu Feng. He could not even match that, and he was left behind in the dust with no hope of catching up. So he was extremely shocked as to how could there be such an impressive person in the world, and he was also very curious as where that person came from. Enough, it's time for you to kneel down. Suddenly, Chu Feng lost his patience, and he used the Imperial Sky technique. Within an instant, he arrived behind Jai Bufen. He extended his palm and grabbed towards Jai Bufen's cosmos sack located on his waist. However, before Chu Feng even touched Jai Bufen, he discovered that a strong spirit formation stopped his hand. That spirit formation was extremely strong, and it enveloped Jai Bufen's body and it wrapped around him. A bit interesting. For the first time, Chu Feng met a spirit formation that was able to block his attacks. However, he was not afraid, and he clenched one of his hands. A golden-colored dagger appeared within his hand as he stabbed down at Jai Bufen. Boom, the dagger and the spirit formation collided, and instantly, a huge boom resonated out. Although Chu Feng was not able to break through the spirit formation, the strong force threw Jai Bufen dozens of meters away. "You bastard, come up if you dare. I will certainly cripple you." Jai Bufen stabilized himself, and he grinded his teeth in anger as he rushed towards the passage to the fourth floor. "Bro, don't follow him. The spirit formation that covers his body is released by a special treasure, and it is quite impressive. On the fourth floor, without the pressure of the formless formation, the treasure's spirit formation would be even stronger. Jai Bufen's cultivation could also be freely used, and at that place, you may not be able to defeat him." Gu Bo saw through Jai Bufen's intentions and hurriedly advised Chu Feng, "Thank you for your good intentions, but I must go to the fourth floor." Chu Feng faintly smiled and quickly chased after Jai Bufen. "Hang in there. The guild will quickly send people to save you." Gu Bo swept his gaze over the geniuses from the World Spirit Guild that were laying on the floor. He gnashed his teeth, and he also leaped forward and rushed towards the tunnel to the fourth floor. Not long after the three of them left, a dozen or so gray-cloak world spiritists rushed in. All of them were people from the World Spirit Guild. After entering, all of them tightly frowned, and they had some slight difficulties with the formless formations. Quickly go to the fourth floor. There's a bastard brat that broke our protective talisman. Apprehend him." "That right. He broke the exam rules, and he must be severely punished." At that instant, the Jai clan members started to loudly yell to shout their injustices. Something like that never happened. They just had no way of enduring the pressure from this formless formation, so they broke their own protective talisman. However, the geniuses from the World Spirit Guild quickly spoke to refute. "Nonsense." In response, the Jai clan members were so angry that they could spit out blood. He looked at the geniuses from their own family, then looked at the Jai clan members. A Grey Cloak world spiritist that seemed to be the leader pointed at the Jai clan members and said, "Bring these people who forfeited down." Red light surged and lingered on the Asura ghost tower. However, the faint blue lights that were on the first, second, and third floor were more eye-grabbing because that represented the number of people who participated in the exam. However, the exam already happened for a period of time, but up until that moment there was no blue light on the fourth floor. It meant that there was no one who entered the fourth floor. That caused the 3 elders from the World Spirit Guild and the 3 elders from the Jai clan to frown tightly. What happened in the tower? Those were the guesses of the 2 groups of people. As they guessed, they couldn't help but stare at each other with gazes of great bitterness and deep hatred, as if saying, "If your young generation dared to do anything to my young generation, I would certainly not forgive you." Look, someone went onto the 4th floor. Suddenly, someone yelled out loud. Although his yell did not seem to be important, everyone's expression changed greatly, and they quickly locked their gazes onto the 4th floor. After seeing the moving blue light on the 4th floor, the elders from the 2 powers couldn't help but exhale deeply in relaxation. Although the spirit pressure in the Asura ghost tower was very strong, as their young generation, if they couldn't even go onto the 4th stage, they would indeed become the laughingstock of people. At that moment, someone finally stepped onto the 4th stage so naturally, they felt relieved. However, at the same time they were relieved, they were also curious. At that very instant, there was only one person on the 4th stage. Was it Gu Bo from the World Spirit Guild or Jai Bufin from the Jai clan? That was the biggest question. Look, another person went on. Suddenly, another person loudly yelled again. Indeed, another blue light appeared on the 4th stage. At that instant, no matter if it was the people from the Jai clan or the people from the World Spirit Guild, they all rejoiced. Slight happiness even surged onto the faces of the 6 elders who had unfathomably deep strength. Within the people in that exam, there were only 2 people who could step onto the 4th floor. One was Gu Bo, the other one was Jai Bufin. At that moment, since there were 2 blue lights that appeared naturally, everyone would think of those 2 people. It meant that, no matter if it was the young generation from the World Spirit Guild or the young generation from the Jai clan, both of them stepped onto the 4th stage. At least they didn't lose any face, and they were not inferior to one another. That was why both sides were very at ease. Heavens, another person went up. But just at that time, another person shouted in surprise. Indeed, on the 4th floor, another faint blue light appeared there. At that instant, everyone from the Jai clan and the World Spirit Guild lit up their eyes. Another person went up. Who would that be? Whether it was the 3 elders from the Jai clan or the 3 elders from the World Spirit Guild, they were guessing who that third person was. After all, within their impressions, there was only Jai Bufin and Gu Bo who could step onto the 4th stage within the young generations who entered the exam. They truly could not think of the third person. Damn brat, you really did dare to come up. At the same time, on the 4th floor of the Asura Ghost Tower, Jai Bufin was facing both Chu Feng and Gu Bo. At that instant, it was as though he was a completely new person, and the atmosphere he gave off was entirely different from when he was on the 3rd floor. The aura of the 7th level of the Origin realm was truly being displayed. Origin power was lingering around him, and it was endlessly surging. Even the air whined. I think you've gotten the situation wrong. It's not that I'm coming up, it's that you escaped up. What? Not escaping anymore. You can't go onto the 5th floor, right? Chu Feng sneered and said, "You eloquent brat, you'll have it coming soon." Gu Bo, this is a personal grudge between me and this person. Can you not interfere? Jai Bufin did not directly attack, and he cast his gaze towards Gu Bo. Although his cultivation was no longer restricted after arriving on the 4th floor, Gu Bo was the same as well. Jai Bufin, Chu Feng bro is a friend of my World Spirit Guild. If you want to take care of him, that means you have to take care of me. This isn't a personal grudge. It is a grudge between my world spirit guild and your Jai clan. Do you think it's possible for me to only watch with my hands folded away?" Gu Bo lightly smiled and said, "You, Jai." Bufin was extremely furious. He still had some certainty if he only needed to take care of Chu Feng himself. However, if he also needed to take care of Gu Bo in addition to Chu Feng, he really did not have any confidence. "Gu Bo bro, you don't need to help out. I would quite like to see what kind of methods this genius of the Jai clan has." However, Chu Feng waved his hand at Gu Bo, indicating him to not help out. After that, he clenched one of his palm and a golden-colored pike appeared in his hand. He leaped toward and dashed towards Jai Bufin. A bit of nerves. Seeing that Chu Feng was directly attacking him, Jai Bufin did not avoid nor dodge it. With a flash from the cosmos sack on his waist, a blue-colored longsword appeared within his hand. That sword was extremely beautiful, as if it was made by cold ice. Tiny bits of radiance were given off from the sparkling and translucent sword, yet it emitted a feeling of it being unable to be broken. Faint gas lingered around the edge of the sword. Before even nearing, one could feel the bone-piercing coldness. It was a special weapon created by cold iron, a cold iron sword that was above blades, made out of blackened gold. Asterisk whoosh whoosh asterisk that sword was quite a treasure, and Jai Bufin's sword techniques were impressive as well. He used a rank 5 martial skill, and the edge of the sword disappeared but reappeared randomly. When the cold iron sword was within his hands, its strength was truly displayed as it endlessly attacked Chu Feng fiercely. Asterisk swoosh swoosh asterisk however, Chu Feng did not just take those attacks. The cold glare first arrived, then he sent out the pike like a dragon. At that very instant, the golden-colored pike was a golden-colored dragon. Its attacks were fierce and, as it swept, it was like the wind. It was even stronger than Jai Bufin's attacks. Asterisk clang 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 asterisk the two fought together and no one defended. What they used were the most fierce attacks, and under those attacks, Chu Feng clearly gained the advantage. There were quite a few times that he stabbed the golden-colored pike towards Jai Bufin's body. However, it was useless. Jai Bufin had the strong spirit formation to protect his body, and that spirit formation was created by a special type of treasure. It was extremely exceptional, so even if Chu Feng could hit Jai Bufin, he could not harm him. From that, Jai Bufin gained a greater superiority as he did not need to be afraid of Chu Feng's attacks, but he could still attack Chu Feng as though he was playing around with his life. He would not be injured, but as long as he could hit Chu Feng would lose to him. "Damn brat, you dare to break the rules of this exam and force my Jai clan out. Even if you leave this tower, you will have trouble in escaping death, so I, Jai Bufin, will send you on a journey right now." Jai Bufin's attacks got more and fiercer, and the cold iron sword in his hand became more and more tricky. In addition, he used a mysterious bodily martial skill, so he was not inferior to Chu Feng in terms of speed. In an instant, from being disadvantaged, he gained the advantage. This guy is really quite strong. The martial skills and treasures that he has are too mysterious. If it wasn't for this spirit pressure on the 4th floor that greatly restricted his strength, I'm afraid that I would not be able to beat him with my cultivation of the 1st level of the origin realm. Chu Feng was aware of Jai Bufin's strength. From his estimations, Jai Bufin's current strength was not his real strength. Under the pressure of the spirit pressure, at most, he was using the strength of the 6th level of the origin realm. As for Chu Feng, he was strangely not affected and he could use his full strength, so Chu Feng felt that if the two of them left that area and normally fought, even if he used the power of the golden-colored lightning and raised his cultivation to the 2nd level of the origin realm, he still might not be able to beat Jai Bufin. After all, he had a lot of treasures on him. At that moment, he only took out the cold iron sword, and he still did not know where the treasure that was creating the spirit formation was located at. Other than those, Chu Feng really did not know what other treasures Jai Bufin had. For a moment, Chu Feng had all sorts of admiration towards Jai Bufin. Although he also had some methods himself, those were all fought for with his life. He did not even have a single special treasure. So, more or less, Chu Feng admired the people who were born into a wealthy family. After all, to them, their family's foundation was thick, and they had uncountable resources. As long as they had unordinary talent and gained the good impressions of the elders in their clan, it was the simplest thing to do to gain treasures and resources. Asterisk whoosh asterisk suddenly, a blue light flashed past Chu Feng's left arm. As he was caught off guard, he got struck. Damn it. Feeling the fiery feeling from his left arm, Chu Feng knew that he was injured. Although it was not very serious and it was only some injury on the surface, he was still injured. HMPH. This is just the beginning. Very quickly you will fall under my sword. After succeeding within one strike, Jai Bufin got even more stronger and he insanely attacked Chu Feng once again. Do you truly believe you can defeat me? After being struck by a sword, Chu Feng was also enraged. He revolved his origin power under his feet and a white-colored light appeared. After that light appeared, Chu Feng instantly disappeared. When he reappeared, he was already behind Jai Bufin. This guy is fast. What kind of martial skill is that? It is so mysterious. At that instant, no matter if it was Jai Bufin who was fighting with Chu Feng, or Gu Bo who was looking at the battle on the side, both of their eyes lit up and their expression changed greatly. They could tell that Chu Feng displayed quite a mysterious martial skill. It was completely different from the lightning that was under his feet earlier. This time, the light that appeared under his feet was clearly quicker, and even several times so. If it was said that the lightning that raised Chu Feng up was already an uncommon, mysterious bodily martial skill, then at that instant, what Chu Feng displayed was an extremely rare bodily martial skill. If it was said that Chu Feng used a rank 5 bodily martial skill before, then at that moment, what Chu Feng was using was a rank 6 martial skill, and it was a very strong one. Chu Feng can use a rank 6 martial skill. Where did he come from? Gu Bo was endlessly shocked in his heart. Not everyone could cultivate a rank 6 martial skill, even within his World Spirit Guild, as the cultivation difficulty was extremely high. However, at that instant, what Chu Feng was using was clearly a rank 6 martial skill, and that proved 2 points. Firstly, to be able to have a rank 6 martial skill to cultivate meant that Chu Feng had a very deep background, or else he would not have been able to cultivate such an excellent martial skill. Secondly, Chu Feng having the chance to cultivate a rank 6 martial skill was one thing, but actually being able to use a rank 6 martial skill was another. It was unable to be done by just anyone, and that displayed Chu Feng's exceptionality even more. Those 2 points made Gu Bo and Jai Bufin quite astonished. In addition to seeing that Chu Feng was not affected by the formless formation nor by the spirit pressure, and also not being defeated as he fought someone at the 7th level of the origin realm while being at the 1st level of the origin realm, that meant a single truth. Chu Feng was a genius, a true genius, a genius that had even higher talent than the both of them. Everything that Chu Feng displayed shocked the hearts of the two people. However, if they knew that what Chu Feng was displaying was not a rank 6 bodily martial skill but a rank 7 bodily martial skill, who knew how they would react? I do not believe that I cannot break your protective spirit formation. After dodging Jai Bufin's attack, a golden-colored longbow condensed within Chu Feng's hands as he used the highest obscure meanings behind the bow of 100 transformations. Asterisk whoosh 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 asterisk Chu Feng's right hand was lightning as it endlessly pulled. Countless golden-colored arrows were like a storm as they densely flew towards Jai Bufin's spirit formation. Asterisk clang 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 asterisk Jai Bufin waved the cold iron sword in his hand to block the rainy arrows that filled the sky. However, It was in vain, as he could not block them all. Luckily, he had the protective spirit formation, or else he would have already become a sieve. It's useless. My protective spirit formation is the clan foundation treasure of my Jai clan, the elite armament that my elder brother lent me. With it protecting me, not to mention you, even those at the profound realm should not even think of harming a single strand of my hair. Jai Bufin smugly said, the clan foundation treasure, the elite armament, the armor of thorns. After hearing Jai Bufin's words, Gu Bo was greatly shocked because he knew what kind of character Jai Bufin's elder brother was. If Jai Bufin was a person within the young generation of the Jai clan, then Jai Bufin's elder brother would be the #1 genius within the young generation. He was the most outstanding genius within the Jai clan and the representative of the Jai clan's young generation. He entered the profound realm at the age of 17, and he was 23 years old this year. He already entered the peak of the profound realm, and he was able to be matched with the old generation. Even the peak of the World Spirit Guild had some fear towards Jai Bufin's elder brother, exactly because Jai Bufin's elder brother had excellent talent. He was already hiddenly selected to be the future clan head of the Jai clan. So, he gained the clan foundation treasure of the Jai clan, an elite armament, the armor of thorns. It was unexpected that Jai Bufin's elder brother would lend the elite armament to Jai Bufin. With that, even those at the profound realm had no way of harming Jai Bufin, not to mention Chu Feng bro, don't mess around with him anymore. The armor of thorns is an elite armament, and it is not something that you can break. Gu Bo quickly advised Chu Feng, as he was aware that something was wrong. HMPH, can't be broken, let's see if it can truly not be broken. After hearing Gu Bo say those words, Chu Feng became even more unyielding. He put away his bow of 100 transformations, and with a thought, the atmosphere of his entire person became completely different. Suddenly, a roar of a tiger rang out in the air. A wave of pressure descended from the heavens, and the strong force shook the entire 4th floor. What is this pressure? As he felt the difference, Gu Ba's face greatly changed because he could feel that the pressure came from Chu Feng's body. However, he only felt that pressure before on people at the profound realm. Chu Feng was only at the first level of the origin realm, so how could he be emitting that? Roar. Just at that time, Chu Feng suddenly extended his finger. Following that, an indescribably powerful aura came out from Chu Feng's finger. At that instant, a roar rang out as if the most fierce monster in the world started its more terrifying attack. That aura broke through the air, and it even whined and split. A black-colored line followed it like the stripes on a tiger. False bravado. Jai Bufin waved the cold iron sword in his hand and chopped at the aura that pounced towards him. He wanted to use his unbreakably hard cold iron sword to block Chu Feng's attack. Clang. However, when the aura and the cold iron sword collided, sparks flew everywhere. Then a ear-piercing noise resounded. Jai Bufin's unbreakably hard cold iron sword was split into two. The more terrifying thing was after the aura split the cold iron sword, it did not stop, and it fiercely slammed against Jai Bufin's protective spirit formation. Bang. A huge boom sounded out, and Jai Bufin flew over and ferociously crashed into the wall of the Asura ghost tower. The strong force shook the entire 4th floor. Even people outside of the tower could clearly see the slight trembling of the Asura ghost tower Lord Elders. At that instant, no matter if it were the people from the Jai clan or from the World Spirit Guild, they couldn't help but cast their gaze towards the 6 elders. That tremble did not happen before, but everyone could subconsciously associate that something must have happened in the Asura ghost tower. They only needed to recall that their own geniuses were within the tower in order to want to immediately rush in and investigate what happened. Currently, they were only waiting for the orders of the 6 elders. Of course, even the subordinates were aware that something was wrong, so how could the 6 elders that represented the Jai clan and the World Spirit Guild not be aware of something like that? However, looking at the changing blue lights on the 4th floor, they could tell that 2 people were fighting and 1 person was watching. The tremble just now was very possibly created by the battle of the 2 people. However, what kind of attack could make the Asura Ghost Tower shake? After thinking for a while, the representative elders for both sides looked at each other, but they did not send the order to rush into the Asura Ghost Tower. They just waved their hands to indicate the people to calm down. At the same time, on the 4th floor of the Asura Ghost Tower, Gu Bo was still standing there, but he was already dumbstruck at that moment. His face was full of astonishment as he stared at Jai Bufin, who sat in the corner of the wall, and he was deeply shocked by the scene that happened just now. At that very instant, Jai Bufin's protective spirit formation was still there, and it became a blood-red color. There were even layers of steam, as if it transformed, and they could even see the patterns. It looked like armor, and a spirit formation armor protected Jai Bufin. However, even with the protective spirit formation and the elite armament blocking Chu Feng's white tiger slaughtering technique, at that instant, Jai Bufin was not all that. Well, his face was pale white and his aura was a bit weak. Blood was slowly flowing out from the corner of his mouth, and his gaze was filled with great surprise and terror. He blankly stared at Chu Feng and said, "Who are you?" "I am the person who will end your exam." Chu Feng lightly smiled and slowly walked towards Jai Bufin. Although his white tiger slaughtering technique could not destroy the elite armament on Jai Bufin's body, it could still injure him, so as long as Chu Feng continued to attack, he could still take away Jai Bufin's life. "What are you planning to do? If you dare to do anything to me, my Jai clan will not forgive you. My elder brother will not forgive you." Jai Bufin was a bit terrified. The young man in front of him was truly too scary. He displayed all sorts of methods that he had never seen before, especially the previous attack. Even the most valuable treasure of the Jai clan, the elite armament armor of thorns, could not protect him. The pain from his body told him that he did not want to endure another terrifying attack like before. He was really afraid that the armor of thorns would not protect him, and he would die there just like that. "Even if I don't do anything to you, will your Jai clan let me go?" Chu Feng still continued forward. "Chu Feng bro, spare him." Just at that time, Gu Bo spoke. From the expressions in his eyes, he hiddenly indicated not to attack Jai Bufin anymore. Naturally, Chu Feng understood in his heart, so he did not continue his attacks. He only pointed at Jai Bufin and said, "Obediently stay on the 4th floor. If you dare to come onto the 5th floor, I will not let you go back down." After speaking those words, Chu Feng walked towards the 5th floor. Gu Bo also followed him, and as for Jai Bufin, he did not refute. After experiencing Chu Feng's insanity, he already knew that Chu Feng was a madman. Within the Asura Ghost Tower, he had to be careful of that madman. Chu Feng's spirit power was very strong and his body was very special. Although he could feel the strength of the spirit pressure in the Asura Ghost Tower, he was not affected by it and he walked normally. As for Gu Bo, he was not simple as well. Although the spirit pressure on the 4th floor could restrain him, it was still within his endurable range, so the 5th floor was also his target. As they passed through many passages towards the 5th floor, there were many small obstructions. They were even more difficult than the passages to the 4th floor. However, Chu Feng and Gu Bo could dispel them. "Chu Feng bro, what method did you just use?" It was actually able to force the elite armament back to its original shape. Gu Bo curiously asked. He was unable to forget the might that Chu Feng displayed earlier. It was simply a slaughtering method that had unstoppable might. "I also don't know what it is, and I just learned it by chance." Chu Feng lightly smiled. Although he had quite a good impression on Gu Bo, they were still not that familiar so naturally. Chu Feng would not talk about the white tiger slaughtering technique. Secret skills were something that could attract fire on one's body. That's right. You said that Jai Bufin had an elite armament on his body. What are? Chu Feng asked. Chu Feng, bro, you don't know what are. After hearing Chu Feng's question, Gu Bo was a bit surprised. Chu Feng shook his head while smiling because he really did not know what were. However, just by looking at Gu Bo's expression, he knew that they were quite impressive things. Are extremely precious treasures, and they can be described with the word priceless because they contain extremely powerful formations within them, and they can display extremely strong power. It is a type of power that cannot even be compared by martial skills. If someone at the peak of the profound realm could fully use the power of the elite armament, even heaven realm experts would have to avoid the blade. Gu Bo explained, elite armaments, there is actually such a thing in the world. Chu Feng admired it a bit because even his white tiger slaughtering technique had no way of breaking the armor of thorns on Jai Bufin's body. It could be seen how exceptional his elite armament was. Elite armaments are extremely precious. The Jai clan only has one, and it is their clan foundation treasure. Jai Bufin doesn't have sufficient cultivation, so he could only use the elite armament to protect himself. However, if it landed into his elder brother's hands, the armor of thorns would not only be a simple protective tool, it would be an extremely powerful killing weapon. Jai Bufin's elder brother is quite impressive, and he is the future clan head for the Jai clan. His cultivation is already at the peak of the profound realm, and he is hoping to rush into the heaven realm in the next few years. Even my world, Spirit Guild's elders fear him quite a bit. Also, since Jai Bufin's elder brother is willing to lend the clan foundation treasure to Jai Bufin, it could be seen that he really loves Jai Bufin, so it is best to not harm him. Gu Bo continued reminding, thank you for your reminder. Chu Feng finally knew why Gu Bo would look at him with that eye expression just now. It was because Jai Bufin's background was quite scary. But don't worry. This time, the reason why you attacked was for my world Spirit Guild, so we will do everything we can to protect you. Gu Bo solemn vowed and promised. Heh. Chu Feng lightly smiled and did not reply. They continued forward. The passage to the 5th floor was different than the other passages. Before even arriving, they could feel that the spirit pressure was increasing in strength. After, the two of them passed the spirit formation entrance to the 5th floor, and truly entered the 5th floor. Gu Bo's face instantly changed greatly, and even breathing became difficult. Gu Bo, bro, are you okay? Seeing that, Chu Feng quickly supported Gu Bo. Chu Feng, bro, you are too impressive. You can remain so relaxed even on the 5th floor. Gu Bo first exhaled deeply, then looked at Chu Feng, who still had the same face as usual. He couldn't help but shake his head and sigh, then said, Chu Feng, bro, my talent is limited and the 5th floor is my limit. I cannot continue with you onwards. Gu Bo, bro, take care. Chu Feng did not waste any words, and after supporting Gu Bo down, he continued to walk towards the 6th floor. Chu Feng, bro, in reality there are uncountable amount of people who can enter the 5th floor in my world Spirit Guild. However, not a single person within 100 years stepped onto the 6th floor. After all, no one knows how strong the spirit pressure is at the 6th floor. However, the obstacles towards the 6th floor gets more and more difficult after each one. Many seniors have paid huge prices before, and some even lost their lives. Your spirit power is extremely strong, but you still need to be careful. I hope that you can succeed and become the first person to enter the 6th floor in 100 years. Gu Bo had expectations all over his face because Chu Feng was the person who had the most hope to enter the 6th floor. Gu Bo, bro, don't worry. I, Chu Feng, will do my best, but I won't force it. Chu Feng smiled, then walked towards the direction of the 6th floor. Two people entered the 5th floor at the same time. It must be Gu Bo and Jai Bufin. It must be those two. At the same time, outside of the Asura ghost tower, cheers were everywhere, no matter if it were the people from the Jai clan or the people from the World Spirit Guild. Both of them were very happy because the two faint blue lights told them that two people stepped onto the fifth floor. So, they could guess that those two people would certainly be their geniuses, Gu Bo and Jai Bufin. Look, a person disappeared. Where did he go? He didn't return to the fourth floor because he couldn't endure the spirit pressure from the fifth floor, right? Impossible. The direction he is going isn't the direction towards the fourth floor. That's the sixth floor. Someone is going to challenge the sixth floor. Heavens, there's finally someone who will challenge the sixth floor. Challenge the sixth floor that no one has ascended to in 100 years. Who is that? Is it Jai Bufin or Gu Bo? At that instant, yells of surprise sounded from the crowd, and the people from both sides could not remain calm. Even the 6 elders had their gazes tightly locked on the 6th floor. But, very quickly, the yells quieted down, and at the end, the entire plaza was silent. The longer the blue light disappeared for, the stronger the person who was challenging the 6th floor was. He did not shrink back, and he was continuing the climb. At that instant, everyone stopped breathing, and it was so tranquil that people could hear heartbeats and their tense breathing. Everyone's gaze stared without blinking at the 6th floor. They looked forward to it. They looked forward to someone being able to step onto the 6th floor because 100 years ago, after the 2 pinnacle geniuses of the Jai clan and the World Spirit Guild entered the 6th floor, no one else was able to successfully go onto the 6th floor. The 6th floor because a legend. It became an unbreakable legend. No matter if it was the Jai clan or the World Spirit Guild, both of them hoped that someone could break that legend. Look, it's a blue light. Blue light appeared. On the 6th floor, he succeeded. He successfully stepped onto the 6th floor. Suddenly, someone surprisingly yelled out, and they were so excited that their hands and feet were dancing. Heavens, he actually succeeded. Someone successfully arrived at the top. Who is that person? Is it Gu Bo from my World Spirit Guild or Jai Bufin from the Jai clan? After that, cheers rang out everywhere, and the entire plaza were boiled. Everyone was so happy that they didn't know what to do. Some people from the World Spirit Guild and some Jai clan members were even hugging each other. Even the 6 elders above the palace were so excited that their bodies trembled. Unspeakable joy emerged onto their faces. 100 years. After 100 years, someone finally arrived there. The elders from the World Spirit Guild said with a quivering voice, because that represented the birth of another peak-level genius. To be able to step onto the 6th floor meant that they were a peak-level genius, even if they weren't. In terms of cultivation, they would certainly have good attainments of spirit formation techniques. Elder Lai, who do you think stepped onto the 6th floor? Gu Bo from your World Spirit Guild or Jai Bufin from my Jai clan? Ho! No matter who it is, it still means that a rare genius has appeared. An outstanding world spiritist will very possibly be born today. This is a great thing for the Spirit Province. The Elder Lai from the World Spirit Guild smiled and replied, Indeed, it is a good thing for the Spirit Province. However, it isn't anything good for your World Spirit Guild. That elder smiled. What do you mean? After hearing those words, the 3 elders from the World Spirit Guild were all extremely displeased. Because the one who ascended to the peak will not be Gu Bo of your World Spirit Guild. It will certainly be Jai Bufin from my Jai clan. That elder had confidence written all over his face. HMPH, truly arrogant and conceited. Jai Bufin's aptitude is indeed not bad, but my guild's Gu Bo is no worse than him. On what basis do you make such a conclusion? Elder Lai coldly snorted, and he was extremely dissatisfied. On what basis? On the basis that Jai Bufin is wearing my clan's foundation treasure, the armor of thorns. That elder coldly smiled and said, What? Jai Bufin is wearing the armor of thorns. At that very instant, the elders from the World Spirit Guild were all shocked. Following that, disappointment emerged onto their faces. The armor of thorns was an elite armament, and it was passed down by the ancestors of the Jai clan. Indeed, that elite armaments did have endless abilities, and perhaps it could really reduce the degree of spirit pressure on Jai Bufin for him to enter the 6th floor. His World Spirit Guild did not have an elite armament like that. However, as the two great powers were debating who the person on the 6th floor was, Chu Feng already sat cross-legged and smiled while looking at the 3 spirit fruit seeds that were currently changing. The spirit fruit seeds needed to be fed with spirit pressure. Although it would have some change on every floor, it needed a certain amount of time. At that instant, the 3 seeds in Chu Feng's hand was growing extremely quickly. It already grew branches and leaves, and flowers blossomed. The reason why it grew so quickly was because Chu Feng was located at the top of the Asura Ghost Tower, the 6th floor. Indeed, the spirit pressure here can quicken the growth and nourishment of the spirit fruit seeds. It looks like there is hope to save Eggy. Chu Feng sat cross-legged on the 6th floor while looking at the spirit fruit seeds that were currently changing in his palm. He was unusually joyful in his heart, because at that instant the spirit fruit seeds already had huge differences from when it started. Chu Feng could feel the strong power contained within it, and it was still increasing. After seeing the hope, Chu Feng also had a goal. However, it still required quite a bit of time for the 3 spirit fruit seeds to grow a ripened spirit fruit. Within the Asura Ghost Tower, although the amount of floors one climbed was used to determine one's spirit, power, strength, and their talent as well, however, the length that one stayed in the Asura Ghost Tower was also another way of method to determine it. On the evening of the exam, many people could not tolerate with it anymore. The spirit fruit seeds from the hands of those who ran out from the 1st floor did not have any changes. After the 1st day, almost everyone from the 1st floor and the 2nd floor left. Most of the spirit fruit seeds that the people had in their hands sprouted. Some even had branches and leaves. The prices of those spirit fruit seeds were raised by quite a bit. Of course, most of them proved their strength. On the 2nd day, the people from the 3rd floor all came down as well. When the people from the World Spirit Guild came down, they were immediately called to the palace. Because no matter if it were the Jai clan members or the World Spirit Guild elders, they wanted to know the identity of the 3rd person who stepped onto the 4th floor was. You're saying that the 3rd person who went onto the 4th floor wasn't from my World Spirit Guild nor someone from the Jai clan. It was an outsider. Elder Lai from the World Spirit Guild was very shocked after getting that answer. Do you know where that child came from and what his name is? Elder Lai continued asking. He is called Chu Feng. Although we don't know where he came from, he took quite a bit of care of our World Spirit Guild. On the 3rd floor, the Jai clan activated a formless formation, and they wanted to suppress us and prevent us from continuing upwards. If Chu Feng didn't help us, I'm afraid that it would be very difficult for us to come out there alive. A young female fiercely replied, and as she spoke, she even ferociously glared at the 3 Jai clan elders. Nonsense! Right now, the heavily injured people are my Jai clan members, yet you still dare to falsely accuse them. But before even Elder Lai could speak, the elder from the Jai clan was furious. What really happened will naturally be investigated by my World Spirit Guild after the exam is over. However, I am more concerned how long the 3 people in the tower can stay for and whether anyone can get a ripe spirit fruit. As Elder Lai spoke, he cast his gaze towards the Asura Ghost Tower. HMPH. The Jai clan elders did not speak after a cold snort. After all, what they were concerned about was also how long the 3 of them could preserve in the tower, and the identities of those who were on the 4th floor, the 5th floor, and the top. On the 3rd day, the blue light on the 4th floor started to move, After a while, the entrance to the Asura ghost tower that was undisturbed for a full day finally started to ripple. At that instant, everyone's gaze were gathered there. They felt that the person who stayed on the fourth floor for 3 days could very possibly be that Chu Feng. Although he was not part of the World Spirit Guild nor part of the Jai clan, they still wanted to know Chu Feng's appearance. After all, those who were able to step onto the fourth floor could be added into the ranks of geniuses. However, when a person walked out after the spirit formation rippled, everyone couldn't help but be astounded, especially the 3 Jai clan elders. They were dumbstruck and shock filled their faces, because at that very instant the person who walked out of the Asura ghost tower was not Chu Feng, nor was it Gu Bo. It was the person who the Jai clan confidently thought stepped onto the top, Jai Bufin. How did this happen? It's my clan's young master Jai Bufin. He has the armor of thorns, so how can he only climb up to the 4th floor? The faces of the Jai clan members were like ash, and some could not accept that fact. Jai Bufin's face was extremely ugly as well. Without speaking much, he quickly walked away because he couldn't tell others that he was threatened by Chu Feng to only remain on the 4th floor. After all, if he said that, not only would he lose his own face, he would lose the face of the Jai clan. Elders, it seems like your clan foundation treasure isn't all that useful. Ha ha. The elders from the World Spirit Guild were in an extremely good mood. The Jai clan elders' face turned ashen from anger. Originally, they wanted to refute, but at the end they did not say anything. After all, earlier, they did indeed speak too confidently. They were getting slapped on the face, but they could not avoid it. However, in the afternoon, on the 3rd day, the blue dot on the 5th floor moved and disappeared. At the end, after walking out of the Asura ghost tower, the faces from the World Spirit Guild were complicated, and even the Jai clan were endlessly shocked. Because Gu Ba's appearance told everyone the answer. The person at the peak was neither from the Jai clan nor from the World Spirit Guild. It was a young man called Chu Feng. He really succeeded. As Gu Bo stood under the tower and looked up, he saw the blue light on the 6th floor. His heart were like overturning rivers and oceans. Although he had already seen Chu Feng's extraordinariness, when Chu Feng really actually successfully reached the peak, he still had unspeakable excitement. Gu Bo. Suddenly, a voice rang out from behind, and after looking back, Gu Bo couldn't help but be shocked. It was the peak expert of the World Spirit Guild, Elder Lai. Elder Lai, why have you come down? Gu Bo asked with astonishment. Ho, you've seen that. Chu Feng. Elder Lai smiled and asked. He is indeed outstanding. He was able to not be affected by the spirit pressure when he was on the 5th floor. However, I never would have thought that he was truly able to reach the top. Gu Bo replied. He is indeed outstanding, and most likely he is another quite impressive person. Elder Lai nodded, then meaningfully looked at the 6th floor. Elder Lai. It's just that Chu Feng has some past history with the Jai clan. No need to speak. No matter what, my World Spirit Guild will protect this Chu Feng. This character must be roped into my World Spirit Guild. Elder Lai waved his hand, then walked towards the palace. Finally, a relieved smile also surged onto Gu Ba's face. At the same time, Chu Feng, who was on the 6th floor, already stood up. As he looked at the 3 dark green spirit fruits in his palm, indescribable excitement was in his heart. He could feel the strong energy that the 3 spirit fruits contained. If the spirit fruit really did work, then it would certainly save Eggy. This feeling. But suddenly, Chu Feng's expression changed greatly. He detected something and felt a trace of abnormality. He hurriedly stood up, took out the World Spirit Compass, and imbued it with spirit power. After that, all of the World Spirit Compass pointers pointed up. After Chu Feng used his spirit power to observe in detail, his eyes couldn't help but light up as he shockingly said, "Is there a 7th floor?" Chu Feng rejoiced because he could feel that there was a spirit formation entrance above, and as long as he could decipher it correctly, Perhaps he could open the mysterious spirit formation entrance. Strange. This is already the highest level, so why is there a spirit formation entrance? So the Asura ghost tower originally had 7 floors, or is this a spirit formation passage that leads to other places? As he rejoiced, though, he also sank into deep contemplation. He felt that the spirit formation entrance that currently appeared above him was not simple, because he was already at that place for 3 days, yet he did not feel that spirit formation entrance before. So, it could be said that the spirit formation entrance let itself be felt by Chu Feng, and it was not felt by Chu Feng through his personal abilities. So, he had no choice but to suspect whether the spirit formation entrance was a trap or not. That's right, Eggy. Eggy mentioned the word Asura before, so as long as she awakes, perhaps she will know the secret of this Asura ghost tower. Thinking to that point, Chu Feng was in a predicament again. Although he knew that the spirit fruit could save Eggy, he did not know how to specifically use it. Whatever, since there's 3 spirit fruits, I'll see if it works after eating one. Chu Feng did not hesitate as he picked one of the spirit fruits up, and after a few chews, he swallowed them. It had to be said that the taste of the spirit fruit was quite nice. It was delicious and quenching. It even made Chu Feng think that it was the most delicious fruit that he had ever eaten. However, he did not know the reason why he felt that the spirit fruit was so delicious was not because the spirit fruit was truly delicious, but because he hadn't eaten a single grain of rice or drank a single drop of water in quite a long time. However, while after the spirit fruit entered his stomach, Chu Feng felt 2 waves of power. One power wave entered his brain. It combined with his spirit power, and instantly, it strengthened his spirit power by several times. The other wave of power also surged into his brain. However, it did not meld with his spirit power. It bore into his spiritual world. It's Eggy's aura. This girl really did not die. Chu Feng got more and more excited because he felt Eggy's aura, and she was currently absorbing the energy contained in the spirit fruit. Under that situation, Eggy's aura became stronger and stronger as well. Gradually, Chu Feng could even feel that Eggy's physical body was recondensing in his own world spirit space. This is great. This spirit fruit really is useful. In response, Chu Feng quickly took another spirit fruit and swallowed it after a few bites. After the spirit fruit entered his stomach, with a thought, Chu Feng cast his own awareness into the spiritual world, and he wanted to look at the result. Beautiful. At that instant, Chu Feng could clearly see within his vast spiritual world, a large group of dark green gases were floating in the air. That gas was very beautiful. It was like the bright sunlight during sunset, yet it emitted faint dark green colored brilliance, and it was currently gathering towards the world spirit space. Under that situation, the green-colored light became less and less, and very quickly, they were all engulfed, and the spiritual world returned to its former tranquility. What are you thinking? You're not going to come in. Just as Chu Feng was at a loss, a voice that was as ear-pleasing as silver bells suddenly rang out in the world spirit space. Eggy, it's Eggy. Chu Feng was so excited that his body was trembling a bit. A dazzling smile was filled on his young and tender face. After he stepped into the world spirit space, his happy expression was intense to the extreme. In the middle of the world spirit space, Eggy was standing there. It was still the black-colored skirt weaved by black-colored feathers, revealing her snow-white shoulders on top and her pen-like straight, long, beautiful legs. Her demonic figure did not change and she was even more captivating than before. On her sweet face was a pair of pretty eyes, and at that instant they curved to form 2 beautiful crescent moons. She was currently staring at Chu Feng while smiling. You are quite impressive, eh? You actually got spirit fruits. Who told you that these things can awaken? Me? Eggy giggled and asked. However, Chu Feng did not even speak. While taking large strides and with arrow-like steps, he arrived in front of Eggy. His arms were open, and he put the alluring girl into his embrace before saying, "Next time, don't go crazy. Do you know how much I was worried about you?" While being tightly hugged by Chu Feng on Eggy's white snow face, a hint of scarlet emerged onto her face. That girl was a bit embarrassed. However, she did not push Chu Feng away because with her cultivation, if she wanted to dodge, she could have easily dodged Chu Feng's bear hug. "It's enough, and you need to watch out how many small advantages you take from me. Or else, be careful, as I might break you," Eggy chuckled and said. At that instant, Chu Feng was aware that he was slightly excessive, as he wished to continue, and with unwillingness on his face, he let go of the beautiful creature in front of him, smiled, and said, "Eggy, have you heard of the Asura Ghost Tower?" "Asura Ghost Tower. You've heard of the Asura Ghost Tower." After hearing those 3 words, Eggy's expression changed greatly as well. "I haven't only heard of it. Right now we are in this Asura Ghost Tower," Chu Feng replied. "Really? Quickly go out and let me see." After hearing those words, Eggy was instantly happy, and she was so excited that she jumped up and down. Chu Feng did not delay, and with a thought, he cast his awareness back within the Asura Ghost Tower. He swept his gaze around him and let Eggy see his current environment. "Haha, this is great. It is really the Asura Ghost Tower. Chu Feng, where is this place? Is it still within the 9 provinces?" From Eggy's tone, he could hear that she was getting more and more excited. "This is the spirit province from the continent of the 9 provinces." "Eggy, what's so special about this Asura Ghost Tower?" Chu Feng was also excited because he could feel that Eggy most likely knew what the Asura Ghost Tower was. "I never would have thought that the 9 provinces had the Asura Ghost Tower. It seems that this is not a simple place. At least, in order to leave something like this behind, there must have been an extremely powerful world spiritist here once." "Chu Feng, you want to know what this Asura Ghost Tower is used for? This tower is a sealing formation. However, what it is sealing is not some terrifying monster. It is sealing extremely precious treasures," Eggy explained. "Precious treasures? Where?" Chu Feng excitedly asked. "Which floor is this?" "The 6th floor. That isn't right. It would be impossible for the Asura Ghost Tower to only have 6 floors. An Asura Ghost Tower has to have at least 7 floors. Look up. There should be a spirit formation entrance there." "That's right, there is indeed a spirit formation entrance above us. So that means that there really is a 7th floor in this Asura Ghost Tower. Of course, if I'm not mistaken, the precious treasure that is sealed within this Asura Ghost Tower is above." "Precious treasure? What kind of precious treasure is it? Can there be elite armaments?" Chu Feng endlessly rejoiced. That Asura Ghost Tower was very unordinary, and the precious treasures that was sealed within it would certainly not be simple, so Chu Feng greatly looked forward to the 7th floor. "Elite armaments? You also know things like those. It seems that you have had quite a few harvests within the days that I wasn't here." Eggy smiled, then said, "I have no way of being sure what is sealed in it, but treasure is certain sealed in this Asura Ghost Tower. Elite armaments aren't impossible either. But, no matter what, we'll know after we go in. Listen to my orders, lay the opening formation, and enter the 7th floor to take a look on it." Under Eggy's instructions, Chu Feng started to lay the opening formation. The opening formation, like its name, was used to open all sorts of sealing or hidden formations. This spirit formation is quite impressive. Luckily it's you, or else even Blue Cloak World spiritists have no way of opening this spirit formation. I'm afraid that they would not even be able to detect it," Eggy proudly said as she instructed Chu Feng. "Eggy, can we successfully open it then?" After hearing that even Blue Cloak World spiritists could not even open it, instantly, Chu Feng lost all confidence. "Of course you can. Don't forget that this is the Asura Ghost Tower. All the power here comes from the Asura spirit world. You made a contract with me, so you count as half an Asura spirit world person. Whether it be the spirit pressure or the formations here, they will not pressure you," Eggy explained. "Asura spirit world. Other than being shocked, Chu Feng was also confused. "You idiot! Do you really think that there is only one world for us spirits? In actuality, there are 7 spiritual worlds called the 7 spiritual worlds. Within the 7 spiritual worlds, many different types of world spirits that grasp different abilities live there. Bluntly speaking, my Asura spirit world is the strongest within the 7 spiritual worlds. Because the Asura world spirits are naturally prideful and would not create contracts with humans and work for them because of disdain. The number of world spiritists that are able to create a contract with the Asura world spirits can be said to be few within few and rare within rare. However, the world spiritists that can establish a contract with the Asura world spirits will certainly be a lot more outstanding than the world spiritists of the same level. Not for any other reason, but purely because the power that they grasp is the Asura power, and their world spirit is the Asura world spirit. Eggy said extremely proudly. "If you say it like that, am I not very lucky?" Chu Feng chuckled and said, "HMPH, you think so? You should know how many powerful world spiritists feel honored to be able to establish a contract with Asura world spirits, and feel proud to be able to establish a contract with Asura world spirits. But even so, Asura world spirit contractors are extremely rare. If you let the world spiritists who cultivated for many years know that a little child actually make a contract with me, they would really tear you apart from envy." Eggy pursed her little mouth and said, "So that means it is a very dangerous thing to make a contract with you, and I still need to keep this a secret." Chu Feng sighed. "Of course, I still remember the world spiritists who wanted to make a contract with me. Not a single one of them weren't famous characters, yet they were all refused by me. If they knew that I established a contract with a little boy like you, they would certainly be furious and unwilling, and they would instantly come over to kill you. However, don't worry. As long as you can quickly recover my original strength, there will be no one who can harm you." Eggy patted her chest and guaranteed, "Actually, I wanted to say that since it is so hard to establish a contract with your Asura world spirits, the creator of this Asura ghost tower must not be a simple person." Chu Feng looked at his surroundings and had that thought. He would certainly not be simple, but how can he even be compared to your family? They were able to seal 2 Asura world spirits in your little baby body, and even I cannot escape it. As she spoke, Eggy had complaint all over her face, but from that, one could tell that Chu Feng's family was extraordinarily strong. Him as the two were chatting, a pillar of light suddenly appeared from the opening formation. It rushed towards the top of the Asura ghost tower. A spirit formation entrance appeared there. "Haha, success! Chu Feng, quickly enter and let me see what's in there." Eggy excitedly spoke, and Chu Feng already moved as he leaped into the spirit formation. What is happening? How can the top of the Asura ghost tower give out such dazzling light? At the same time, the crowd outside the Asura ghost tower boiled because everyone could see that the top of the Asura ghost tower emitted a dazzling, red-colored light, and it lit up the area around it as if it was day. This scene happened 100 years ago as well. Elder Lai from the World Spirit Guild was endlessly shocked. He heard a senior say before that 100 years ago, a short while after the night in which the 2 pinnacle geniuses of the World Spirit Guild and the Jai clan were defeated, change happened to the Asura ghost tower. The change was extremely similar to the scene in front of his eyes. It could be said to be exactly the same. Look, the blue light at the 6th stage disappeared. Did something happen in the Asura ghost tower? Suddenly, someone yelled out. At that very instant, everyone was incomparably curious, yet they were powerless because everyone who was sitting there could not enter the 6th floor. They could only wait until Chu Feng came out before asking about the truth. As everything outside was in chaos, Chu Feng successfully entered the 7th floor. That place was completely different from the 6th floor from before. The walls everywhere were translucent spirit formations, and on top of the spirit formations were strange symbols. The feeling that every single spirit formation gave Chu Feng was that they were indestructible, and he could not move them, no matter what. The spirit formation became a road that led Chu Feng forward, but very quickly Chu Feng arrived at the end. The end was still a spirit formation, but obviously that spirit formation was stronger. The shape was strange as well, and it was like a cage. Ah, tilde tilde tilde. Suddenly an ear-piercing screech rang out. That voice was too strange, and it frightened Chu Feng a few steps back. At the same time, Chu Feng could see a figure arriving in front of the spirit formation like lightning. After seeing Chu Feng, he was so excited that his hands and feet danced as he jumped around. He even loudly said, "This is great, this is great." After 100 years, finally, there was a person who came to this place. As he looked at the person in front of him, Chu Feng had shock all over his face because that person looked quite special. Sharp ears like some animals, a pair of blood-red eyes, and a mouthful of sharp teeth. More or less, it was a bit scary. Although from his figure he looked like a human, his face seemed like a monster. However, the reason why Chu Feng was shocked wasn't because he was scared by his appearance. That face. Wasn't he the mysterious person who defeated the two pinnacle geniuses from the World Spirit Guild and the Jai clan 100 years ago? Haha, boy, what's your name? Just at that time, the mysterious person had joy all over while pointing at Chu Feng and questioning. Chu Feng, this is a monstrous beast with unmeasurably deep cultivation, and it also grasps extremely strong spirit formation techniques. It is very possible that it is a purple cloak world spiritist, so do not be careless. But before even letting Chu Feng reply, Eggy's voice rang out in his brain, and she gravely reminded, "Is it really a monstrous beast? Can they even become world spiritists?" Chu Feng was quite shocked. Monstrous beasts and humans are the same. True, normal monstrous beasts are not equipped with spirit power. However, some monstrous beasts have special blood, or perhaps they ate special food, causing the creation of spirit power, so they can become world spiritists as well. Right now, the one who is locked in the spirit formation is certainly a monstrous beast, one with special blood. It is an extremely intelligent one, or else it would not be able to cultivate its spirit formation technique to this stage. Look, within the spirit formation there are many deciphering symbols. Those are very profound symbols, and they can only be condensed out by purple cloak world spiritists. Very likely, it was here to take the precious treasure, and because of that it was locked here. He used quite powerful methods and wanted to leave this place, but it was unsuccessful. So, you must be careful. The precious treasures here are not taken so easily. If you can't do it, then just leave this place for now. Eggy continued to remind. Oi, boy, why aren't you speaking? You wouldn't have been scared witless by me, right? He. The sharp-teethed monstrous beast chuckled at Chu Feng. Chu Feng ignored it. He only carefully looked around in a circle, then turned around and left. Although there was a huge, powerful character in front of him, although he knew that there were precious treasures there, Chu Feng was clear that most of that was unrelated to him. Since such a powerful character was locked there, Chu Feng knew that he was not qualified to come and take the things there. Oi, boy, don't go, say and chat with me. As it saw that Chu Feng wanted to leave, the monstrous beast clearly panicked. However, Chu Feng still ignored it and continued walking away because Eggy kept on reminding Chu Feng to not pay attention to it. It would certainly think of a way to get Chu Feng to help it escape that place. However, if it came out, no one knew whether it would harm Chu Feng or not. Boy, do you want to become a blue cloak world spiritist within 2 years? I can help you. Suddenly, those words came from behind. After hearing those words, Chu Feng stopped his steps because being a blue cloak world spiritist was too attracting to Chu Feng. So, he asked, make me a blue cloak world spiritist within 2 years. Are you sure you can do that? Boy, you must not know who I am. Whatever, it would be useless to say too much to you. All in all, I know a method that can make a person's spirit power rapidly strengthen to link to the blue-colored spirit formation power in a short amount of time to become a blue cloak world spiritist. Also, you are very lucky because right now I am prepared to pass this method down to you. The monstrous beast solemnly vowed, "You are not a relative nor a friend to me, so why are you going to pass this method down to me? Also, on what basis should I trust you on?" Chu Feng was extremely careful because he knew that an extremely exceptional existence was locked within the spirit formation. "I do not lie to people. Don't worry, I won't harm you. I just don't want my method to be lost and not passed down in the world. Of course, if you can become a blue cloak world spiritist, I hope that you can help me from the outside and open up this spirit formation that locked me in and help me regain my freedom." Seeing such a cautious Chu Feng, the monstrous beast did not turn any corners and it bluntly stated its situation and goal. "Fine, tell me your method." After some thinking, Chu Feng spoke and asked, "Boy, you wouldn't abandon and not care about me after I tell you the method, right?" The monstrous beast narrowed its eyes and revealed a hint of astuteness. "Do you have any other choice?" Chu Feng faintly smiled, although he knew that the person in front of him was the huge character that defeated the two pinnacle geniuses 100 years ago. At that instant, he was not afraid. Chu Feng did not display any sort of respect because he had the absolute power to do so. He had to control that power well to pressure his opponent in terms of the general mood, in order to gain benefits from his opponent. "Haha, good boy. Quite the nerves you have there since you dare to speak to me like that. However, I like that about you. With this method, you use a special tool to refine your spirit power. As for the position of the tool, I can tell you, but I hope that after you succeed, you come back to help me. After I get out, I will give you even greater benefits." After speaking, the monstrous beast waved its big arm and purple-colored spirit formation power surged out. A spirit formation map condensed by symbols appeared in front of it. Chu Feng did not delay and he quickly remembered the map in his brain. "Senior, if what you said was true, I will certainly come back to help you. At that time, you don't need to give me any benefits. Just take it as my gratitude towards you." After clearly remembering the map in his brain, Chu Feng put down the arrogant attitude, bent his body towards the monstrous beast and paid his respects. "Since you are able to enter this place, it means that you have some ability. I will wait here for you." The monstrous beast seemed to believe Chu Feng. "Senior, actually, I'm quite curious. What kind of treasure is hidden here?" After thinking for a while, Chu Feng spoke and asked, "Ho, the treasure is certainly a good treasure, but I haven't seen it yet. So boy, it's best if you don't keep thinking about it. Look at me. You know that the treasure isn't easy to get. If I wasn't a smart person and if I didn't prepare food enough for 200 years, I'm afraid that I would have already starved to death here." The monstrous beast smiled and said. After hearing those words, Chu Feng felt quite shocked. He was shocked at the impressiveness of the Asura ghost tower, and he also admired the monstrous beast's abilities. It prepared food that was enough for 200 years. It could be seen that it predicted that today would happen and prepared for it. After that, Chu Feng did not ask too much more as he turned around and walked down the Asura ghost tower. However, when he walked out of the Asura ghost tower, he was stupefied by the scene in front of him. Chu Feng had imagined a lot of different scenes that would happen after he walked out of the Asura ghost tower. He imagined that people would look at him but ignore him. He also imagined that the Jai clan members would pull their swords and draw their bows at him. And he also imagined that the World Spirit Guild would extend an olive branch at him as well. However, he did not expect that after he walked out of the Asura ghost tower, there would be an entire plaza full of people standing there. No matter if it was the people from the World Spirit Guild or the Jai clan members, all of them cast a single type of gaze towards him. The gazes of adoration.